back to Agganis Arena for the first time in the 2010-11 season. Tristan Hobbs alongside Brian Levine. Glad to be back with you this fall again for more Terriers hockey. An exciting time of the year, Brian. It's the first chance to see the new team as they hit the ice at Agganis Arena. Not a sold-out crowd. Clearly, still early in the season, but next week, they do it for real.
Absolutely. Agganis Arena, pretty packed, not a sold-out crowd, but both student sections completely filled, so you see a lot of freshmen with a lot of new t-shirts. They'll be here learning the chant tonight and getting themselves acclimated with the beautiful Agganis Arena as the Terriers get set for their first and only exhibition game against the University of Toronto Varsity Blues.
And we'll have the starting lineups now for you. First for those Varsity Blues from the University of Toronto. Starting for the University of Toronto, up front, Byron Elliott, a third-year eligibility player from Burlington, Ontario. Robert Kay, number 20, third-year eligibility player from Orono, Ontario. And also up front for the Varsity Blues, number 28, David Muny, also in his third year of eligibility. On defense, Zach Fenwick, second-year eligibility. And on defense, it'll be Andrew Kizito, number 24. He's in his fourth year of eligibility. Canadian schools have 5 years of eligibility, so they're just juniors, those 4-year guys. And for the BU Terriers, starting up front, Charlie Coyle will have Chris Connolly and Joe Pereira on his wings, so the freshman thrown right into the pot up front. And on defense, David Warsawski and Adam Clendenning. So we'll see Clendenning's first action as a Terrier. Adam Kraus gets the start in net for this preseason exhibition game. Kieran Milan not dressed tonight, so it'll be Kraus and Rollheiser most likely splitting time tonight.
And those two goalies will split time tonight. As you mentioned, Coyle and Clendenning, two freshmen, two very highly touted freshmen. We'll talk about them a little more over the course of the game, but I'm sure Coach Parker wants to see how they play with the big boys up front tonight.
BU going right to left, University of Toronto left to right, and Charlie Coyle wins the opening face-off. Clendenning has some trouble on the far side, recontrols, and now David Warsawski will play through center ice for Coyle, who can't control. University of Toronto throws it in, but back comes Warsawski on the offensive attack across the blue line onside. A quick shot for Warsawski and a save by the University of Toronto goaltender, Andrew Martin. Puck in behind the net. Good job by Connolly stepping in, forces the turnover. Pereira now cycles for Connolly, knocked away from him. Back up the far side boards. Coyle steps in, but the puck comes to center ice. Played back to Warsawski. Transition hockey to Clendenning. He'll throw it in, and the Terriers will go for a change.
And Clendenning, a guy with a lot of speed. As you mentioned, we'll talk more about him later and what he comes and brings to BU, but Clendenning brings a lot of good skills.
Wade Megan tries to force one into the crease. The puck's still free. Now the whistle blows as Joe Pereira digs for it. Face-off coming to the right of the starting goaltender, Andrew Martin, running through those Terriers lines real quick for you. Wade Megan centers a second line of Matt Nieto and Ryan Santana. Ross Gaudette with Andrew Glass and Yasin Cisse on his wings. Zahir Gill centers the fourth line with Justin Courtnall and Kevin Gilroy. As the face-off is won by Megan, back to the point Escobedo. Throws it down low for Matt Nieto, also a very highly touted recruit. Back to Escobedo, the sophomore, after having 1 year of experience. Throws it back in behind Megan, turning. Megan, also a sophomore, had a strong freshman campaign. Santana turns. Now Megan has the puck behind the net. Megan still working. Good work from Megan. Puck poked off his stick, but now Santana has it in the near corner. Up top to Escobedo. Throws it down low. Megan, a turnaround shot deflected, goes through the crease. Picked up on the far side there by Dan Brewer, defenseman for the University of Toronto. Santana turning in behind the net, hands off, quick pass in front, right through the crease. Gaudette couldn't get a shot off. It comes all the way back out to center ice, picked up there by number 2, Ryan Reicha.
And you can see, Tristan, the Terriers coming off, starting very quickly with a very frenetic pace, trying to get something done early in the offensive zone. They're looking to move the puck very quickly.
Andrew Glass on the ice for his first shift of the evening. Santana can't clear on the far side. He's knocked to the ice, but Ryan Reicha there to pick it up. He's turned away, hitting into the glass. Reicha making his first Terrier debut. Now a shot on. Kraus makes the save, the initial save. The rebound stopped as well. Puck still free atop the crease. Kraus gets over. Turnaround shot saved by Kraus. It goes in behind, and Escobedo plays it up the far boards. This line's been out there for a while. You can see Santana is gassed.
And a good job there by Kraus of making the initial save and getting back onto his feet to make the second and third save. A good job there by Kraus, and we'll see him have some time this season.
Escobedo and Reicha still on the ice, can't get off, and finally, no offside call. Now a chance for the University of Toronto. Shot blocked away. That was Michael Markovic, who had the chance for the Varsity Blues. Puck at the Terrier blue line, cleared up into the University of Toronto zone, and the Terriers will have a full 5-man change. As that third line comes out, Gaudette, Cisse, and Andrew Glass. Pass down will be called icing against the Varsity Blues. We'll have a face-off in their zone to the left of goaltender Andrew Martin.
And as he comes on, we'll get our first look at Yassine Cisse, 5th-round draft pick of the Atlanta Thrashers. And a lot of good things about him. A lot of the coaches like his NHL size. He's listed at 6'3", 208. So he's got NHL type of size. He's got a quick release on the shot and a very heavy shot. We'll see if he uses it here.
BU changes it up, however, on the faceoff. Fourth line comes out, Sahir Gill. Centering Kevin Gilroy and Justin Courtnall onside. Shot over the head of Kraus. Picked up by Nicastro in the corner. He's hit hard. Puck free along the far half boards. Stepping in there was Gilroy. He forces the puck free, and now the Terriers have a chance to clear. That's Noonan. Garrett Noonan, also a freshman. Expecting to play an everyday role for this Terrier squad this year. Courtnall gets hit as he catches the pass. The puck comes out to center ice. Delayed offside against the Varsity Blues. BU will have a safe clear out as Max Nicastro starts things behind his own net. Plays catch with Noonan. Now a pass up the far boards. Gill can't control it. Goes in behind the Blues net. Up along the near boards. Back out to center ice. First line back out for the Terriers. Chris Connolly, Charlie Coyle, and Joe Pereira. Pereira and Connolly serving as the captains of this year's team. David Warsowski, the assistant captain. Toronto has the puck free down the ice, but it's going to be icing. That one touched too far by Toronto. Another icing call against the Blues. We'll have another face-off to the left of Martin. 16-11 left to go in the first period. A quickly paced first period. Not many whistles so far.
Yeah, a lot going on to start early for this very young Terriers team. 17 of the Terriers' 26 players are underclassmen. That means they are sophomores or freshmen, so a real youth movement this season for the Terriers, but a lot of talent on both sides of the puck.
Face-off won by BU, but Rosen can't keep it in. He'll play it to Pereira, who turns it into the corner. Going after it is Connolly. Connolly wins the battle, but the turnover goes to the University of Toronto, who, by my brother's beckoning, are wearing half shields tonight. They don't have to wear the full cage in Canada, so the University of Toronto, all their players wearing half shields. Charlie Coyle knocked down in the near corner. Penalty coming up against University of Toronto. BU still controls. Kraus is out of the net. Chance for a 6-on-5 opportunity. Rosen, a shot from the point, blocked down, hit his own man, Connolly. Puck comes free to center ice where Megan has it. They'll regroup and go back on the offensive, but Toronto stops it at center ice, and the whistle is blown. Penalty called against the University of Toronto on number 20, Robert Kay. He took down Charlie Coyle in the near corner.
And a good job there by Coyle of drawing the penalty, forcing the issue. And for the Terriers, this is one of the things I wanted to keep an eye on tonight, the power play. Last year, the Terriers had a pretty good power play, but they lost a lot of the talent. Colby Cohen, Nick Bonino, Vinny Saponari, and Zach Cohen, their top 4 scorers on the power play, all gone. So a whole new unit is out for the Terriers. We'll see what they can do.
Got to believe Warsowski's going to be the quarterback on this power play unit this year. Puck free along the far half boards. Good battle going on at Santana, Nieto, Megan. Pretty much the second line out there with Warsowski and Clendenning as the point men. Megan has it on the far hash marks. On top to Warsowski. Can't catch the pass. It comes out to center ice for Toronto to clear in behind Adam Kraus. He'll stop it there for Warsowski.
And Tristan, the strategy totally changes now. Colby Cohen leaving for the NHL. They always wanted to try and move it into him to get that heavy-handed shot, but it looks like we're going to see more passing around the circle this time.
Clendenning can't keep it in. Cleared all the way down there by Charlie McDonald, the first-year eligibility player. 6'4", 200. Good size for McDonald for the University of Toronto. Once again, Tristan Hobbs, Brian Levine with you. 1:10 to go on the power play for the Terriers. 14:35 to go in the first. No score between Toronto and Boston University. Puck along the near half boards. Warsowski trying to play it back to the point. Clendenning can't get there. Chance now for Toronto. On the break the other way. Turning. Nice defensive play, though. Getting back was Chris Connolly, denying the chance there from Michael Markovic.
And it looked like Markovic wanted to set up for the slapper, so put a heavy shot on, but Connolly able to get back and good stick check there to take it away.
43 seconds to go on the power play. Clendenning throws it into the corner, gets hit by 2 different Varsity Blue players. A helmet pops off. It's a Varsity Blue player's helmet that comes off. Whistle is blown, and a face-off coming inside the Toronto zone with 14:05 to play in the period. 38 seconds to play on the power play. 3-2 the shots in goal in favor of Toronto.
And if you're Coach Parker, what you want to see out of your power play unit is consistency, being able to keep it down in the offensive zone and really make a lot of good passes, be able to cycle it around. But so far, not much of that as up to this point.
BU controls the faceoff, handing off to Connolly in the near corner. Back on top for Noonan. Noonan wearing number 13, formerly downed by Nick Bonino. Back on top, Nicastro down low. Charlie Coyle across the crease. One-time shot off the side of the net from Chris Connolly. Nice little pass there from Coyle. A little bit of a sauce on that one. Connolly got off the one-time shot but hit the side of the net. 9 seconds to go on the power play. Possibly one more rush for the Terriers. 13.5 to play in the period. Noonan walks out in front of his own net, plays to Chris Connolly, who has some room through center ice. Connolly holds up, thought about the shot, now plays it off to the far corner for Joe Pereira. Back in behind to Charlie Coyle. Coyle, good size for a freshman, expected big things out of him. The nephew of Tony Amante, puck free in the crease. No Terrier can get a stick on it. It's cleared out to center ice for BU to control in their own zone. They'll have a three-man forward change, long pass looking for Connolly. He dives full out across the blue line, but can't control the pass.
And Nicastro's pass had a little too much mustard on it. Connolly was looking to take a pass into the zone to create something quick, but Nicastro put a lot of heat on that one. And so the puck bounces out for a face-off. And as you mentioned, Charlie Coyle, highly, highly touted freshman, 6'2", 207. As you mentioned, Tony Amante's cousin, a power or finesse game. He's got a lot of great skills to bring to this BU team.
BU wins the faceoff, gets it down deep in behind the Toronto goal. Justin Courtnall working there. Puck pops in front, but controlled now by the University of Toronto out to center ice, but stopped there by Ryan Reicha. BU turning through center ice. Nice try of a pass there by Kevin Gilroy. Can't get it through. Now the Blues will start back on the offensive attack. They dump it in deep. Ryan Reicha, a little too long with the puck there. He gets hit hard, but it comes up the near boards for control there by Sahir Gill. His pass intercepted at center ice. A blind pass at it. And now Escobedo has it in his own zone. Escobedo to the far side. Sahir Gill battled off the puck. Good strength there from Sahir Gill, and the puck goes in to the Toronto zone, but it's quickly cleared high off the glass and back to center ice. 12:15 to play in the period. Escobedo up the near side boards in front of the BU bench. Has some space, has some speed. All the way in behind the net. Turns there, trying to wait for his teammates. Can't do it. Turns it over. A long pass aimed for a Toronto stick goes all the way down for icing. As McGregor was there for the Terriers. 11:58 to play.
And so far, Tristan, we've seen a little bit of back and forth play, and you can tell that this Boston University team is a Terrier team that hasn't had too much practice. Again, official practices just started yesterday, so for the Terriers, still getting to know each other a little bit, and Coach Parker testing out different lines and combinations to see who can play well with each other and who develops some chemistry.
Toronto wins the draw, but they turn it over behind their own net. It's Glass, Gaudette, and Cisse out there for the Terriers. Pass back to Rosen. Rosen, a quick shot on. Redirected, score! It was Ross Gaudette with the redirection. It's 1-0 Terriers, 11:46 to play. You get the puck to the net, good things will happen.
And a great job there by Ben Rosen of putting the puck on the net. Took a little bit off it, so it was a little bit of a misdirection, and Gaudette able there to bang it home. A great play from Gaudette. We expect big things out of Gaudette this season as a scorer, and he starts off the year right with a goal.
Put the puck on net, go to the net hard, good things will happen. Rosen gets it low. Gaudette with the deflection home, and that shooting percentage continues to baffle all of us. He was around 30% last year, 10 goals on 30 shots. He starts this year off with a bang as well.
And considering most players shoot around 9 or 10%, it's absolutely unheard of to be at 30. But Gaudette, a shooter, and Coach Parker wants him to put the puck on net more, and you can see why.
BU controls the center face-off and dumps it in behind the Toronto net. Cisse, great size, 6'3". Has the dreadlocks as well. Toronto coming out of their own zone. Cisse, huge hit along the far boards. BU fans will want to see a lot more this year. Puck into the far corner. Cisse again looking for the hit. Doesn't get as good of a lick on that one, but Cisse looking to throw the body, looking to throw it off, and now a turnover. Cisse hands off to Glass. Glass, a shot on. Saved by Martin. He'll hold on with 11:13 to go. Like the energy from that line right there.
And Tristan, we thought the big hitter role was going to be reserved this year for Justin Courtnall, but Cisse comes and makes his presence known. A huge hit there from the freshman. And as you mentioned, he's got the NHL size, a big body, but he's also got great hands and great quickness, so he's going to be an absolute force on the offensive end.
Face off to the right of Martin is controlled by Toronto. They swing it around the far half boards, controlled out to center ice. Long pass again, just too far, all the way down for icing. There for Toronto was number 28, David Mooney, 5'8", 165, not a very big guy. The jersey looks a little big on him. He just couldn't make the grab on that pass. Toronto's had some great scoring opportunity, but they haven't been able to convert.
And Tristan, that's the more important test for this Terrier team. In Hockey East, there's so many talented forwards, Stefan DaCosta, Gustav Nyquist, among others, that you have to be able to back check and be a good defensive forward as well. So we'll have to see how the Terriers' skill holds up there.
BU controls the turnover. Megan trying to get in front, can't do it. Shot on from the point, save, rebound. Martin doesn't know where it is, but it's cleared off to the corner by a good defensive play from Jeff Zippel. Puck battle along in the near corner, coming away with it. And the Terriers pass back to the point is intercepted, and away comes Toronto through center ice on the offensive attack. They're onside into the zone. Good job by Clendenning on the far side, tying his man up. Now Warsofsky steps in, uses that long reach to poke the puck away. It's along near half boards. Nieto can't get it out. It's a shot on. Kraus makes the save, directs it to the far corner. Clendenning battling along there with Mooney. Mooney, good job, but good, even better job there by Megan to steal the puck away. Referee has the arm up. Going to be a penalty call here against Wade Megan for a slash. So BU will go on the penalty kill here with 10:13 to play.
And special teams, again, something you want to see here. But the Terriers have to get better this season at penalty minutes. Last year, they ranked second in most penalty minutes per game, 16.1 per game, so about 8 penalties per game. They were only better than Merrimack in that section. And the penalty kill going to be very interesting to watch because they lose a PK specialist in Luke Popko, who graduated. So the Terriers still, again, another work in progress on special teams.
Coyle, Connolly, Nicastro, and Escobedo are the 4 for the Terriers. University of Toronto setting up the power play. Escobedo goes after his man in the corner. Puck comes back to the point. Good stick there by Coyle. Puck comes free. Shot on, score! The University of Toronto answers quickly on the power play as Kyle Ventura finding the open puck and beating Kraus 5-hole. It's 1-1 with 9:59 to play. Just 14 seconds into the power play, the University of Toronto ties this game up at 1.
A great job there by Toronto of converting and just sticking to the basics of hockey, keep moving the puck and make good things happen. It looked like Kraus got screened, and that all started when it was Rosen who went after his man and kind of got himself out of position, and that had the other players scrambling, and Toronto found the open man for a goal.
And Coyle did a great job of putting his stick in the passing lane, but was unable to clear the puck once he knocked it away. 1-1 now. University of Toronto and BU in the first period. Pass back to the point. One-time shot. Kraus doesn't know where it went. I think it's in the jersey of a Terrier player. Yes, it's caught in there somewhere. Garrett Noonan. That was a high rising shot. Both Kraus and Noonan were atop the crease, and that one gets lodged in the jersey uniform of Garrett Noonan.
And you don't see that too often, but a good job there by Noonan of getting back to protect the goal and keep Kraus, keep him taken care of.
Face off won by Coyle. Now Connolly through center ice. Cross ice pass for Coyle. He'll spin at the blue line. Coyle looking for a player. Has Noonan on the far point. Noonan a quick shot on. Redirected away by Toronto. Quick pass in front. Connolly can't get a shot. Puck is still free in the slot. Pereira now shot on. And a save by Martin. Good work here from the Terriers. Pereira and Coyle both battling behind the net. It's a 2-on-2 battle. It comes free to Connolly in the near corner. He'll spin it back down low. Good cycle from the Terriers. Coyle trying to get out in front. He's knocked to the ice. And away comes Toronto with the puck along the far half boards, but they turn it over. Now Connolly has a chance. It's poked in behind. Connolly turning away from one check, still has it on his stick. Nice pass to the Castro, shot on, deflected in. Go! Joe Pereira! With 9 minutes to play, they're going to say no goal. They're waving it off. I think they're going to call goaltender interference on Joe Pereira at the 9-minute mark. Pereira coming across. Tough call right there. Pereira thought he had it.
Looked like it could go either way. Pereira basically on top of the goalie trying to make something happen, and that's why you love Joe Pereira, because he's such a high-energy player. Always wants to try and find the back of the net with the puck, but maybe got a little over-anxious there, and as a result, no goal, and he'll go into the box for goalie interference.
It was Pereira that was on the right side of Martin, reaching across Martin's body to deflect that one home. So I'm assuming that's why the penalty was called. So Pereira goes off for goalie interference, and Toronto has their second power play of the evening. They already scored once. They have possession. Down low, cross ice, pass, score! Just like that. This time it's only 11 seconds into the power play. Robert Kay. A beautiful cross-crease pass. He bangs it home. Kraus, nothing you can do about that. 2-1 Toronto.
Absolutely. Tic-tac play there was Gilroy, Warsofsky, and Clendening out, and it looked like Clendening got caught too far over to the left. Warsofsky went down to cover the man underneath by the side of the net, and as a result, wide open on the doorstep was the Toronto player, and they're able to just bang it home. So Clendening caught a little out of position there, and as a result, Toronto goes on the board. So a two-goal swing all of a sudden.
BU wins the face-off at center ice. Courtnall, Gill, and Gilroy. Courtnall can't make a pass. He's hit twice at center ice, turns it over. Back comes Toronto. Long pass will go all the way down for icing with 8:37 to play. And just like that, the game has changed dramatically. 2-1 Toronto, and penalty kill is looking a little shaky here so far.
And it got nice and quiet here in Canis Arena all of a sudden. As we mentioned, penalty kill is something you're going to want to watch out for. Teams in Hockey East move the puck so quickly, and they use all of the ice, so the Terriers have to get better at stopping that.
Face off to the right of Martin is won by Toronto. Courtnall giving pressure, knocks his man down, puck is free in the corner. Still picked up now, it's Gilroy turning in behind the net, has Gill with him. Gilroy plays it on top to Clendening, quickly across the blue line to Warsofsky. Nice pass to Gilroy. Gilroy makes one move, can't get a shot off. Gill a shot, saved by Martin. Rebound shot is blocked to the near corner. Picked up there now by Gilroy, back on top to Clendening. Picked his head up too quick and lost control of the puck out to center ice. Great movement, though, on that offensive possession.
And you can see Clendening and Warsofsky have very similar games. They want to make things happen.
Now Courtnall on a breakaway. Courtnall shot saved by Martin. Rebound shot is knocked away. Penalty coming against Toronto. Warsofsky a quick shot. Martin the save. Rebound is finally touched by Toronto, and a penalty called against the Varsity Blues. Courtnall had a breakaway opportunity, but a great save from Martin as Courtnall tried to go backhand, forehand, but Martin was right there the whole way. The slash called against the University of Toronto.
Courtnall tried to tuck it into the back of the left side, just really didn't get enough on it, and maybe didn't get deep enough into the left side to be able to tuck it into the corner like that, and as a result, the goalie was ready for it. And so Terriers will go back on the power play here.
Jeff Zippel called for the slashing penalty. That also had something to do with that miss by Courtnall. Toronto wins the faceoff, clear out down the far side, all the way down the ice. Coming back to get it will be Escobedo. It's icing is called. I don't know why. They're down a man.
It's hard to tell.
I thought that wasn't a rule.
It's hard to tell if they called icing. Might have just been a bad face-off, because you don't usually expect. Might have just been a bad draw, if anything. Oh, it's the exhibition rule. Greg Picker is telling us. Our beat reporter is telling us that it's the exhibition rule. So.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
In exhibition.
So icing called against Toronto. Face off to the left of Martin is won by the Varsity Blues, controlled there nicely by Tyler Turcotte. He plays it up the far side boards, knocked down by Nicastro. Escobedo, Nicastro at the point. Cisse, Megan, and Nieto. Megan walking out, has the puck knocked away. Nieto has it along the far half boards, plays it on top for Nicastro. Escobedo, Nicastro, they'll play catch along the blue line. Working in front is Cisse. Now Nieto, down low, Megan in front, Nieto, quick shot goes wide. He'll pick up his own rebound. Back on top, Nicastro, 1:15 on the power play, shot on just wide of the far post. It comes back to Escobedo. He's knocked to the ice, no call there, could have been a slash. The puck's in behind the net. Picking it up there is Turcotte. He plays it up the far boards. Now a breakaway chance for the University of Toronto. Onside, it's Ventura in, shot on, saved by Kraus, and the puck goes to the far corner. Picked up there by Escobedo. And BU will restart their power play. 52 seconds to go on it. Bad pass up the far boards. Turned over. And a chance here again for Toronto as Kraus will play it out to center ice for Chris Connolly to control.
And a good job there by Connolly of just setting the puck up and taking his time. Terriers trying to rush things out. Almost gave up another breakaway there. So Terriers look a little bit like they're rushing. Not taking their time with the passes.
Pereira, Connolly, and Coyle. Quick shot. Score! Just like that. Tic-tac-toe. Coyle buries it, top shelf, sniper, 2-2.
An absolute beauty of a play there. The passing was perfect. Look, can't ask for anything back from your starting line. Connolly to Pereira to Coyle, bang, goes in the net. A great job there by the Terriers.
Just great movement. Connolly first in, forces the turnover, quickly turns. Coyle quickly comes out in front. Pereira to Connolly, a quick one-touch to Coyle. He buries it top shelf, and that's what they expect from Charlie Coyle. First career goal, I guess you can call it that. Hopefully more to come.
Well, you could see you could see the talents of the three players on this exact play. Connolly with a great effort to take control of the puck and use his speed to get down into the zone. Pereira, the great hustle play to control it. A nice pass inside, and Coyle, the finisher.
So 2-2 the score. Believe that was a power play goal for the Terriers. So they have one of their own so far. 2-2, 6:08 to play. Coyle gets the goal from Pereira and Connolly. That first line does it. Play at center ice. Good check there from Ross Gaudette. The puck comes free to Dave Warsowski. Dangerous cross-crease pass in front of his own net. On the far side, Clendenning has some trouble clearing, but it comes back to Warsowski, who will wheel out from behind his own net. Ooh, nice little dangle move there around the Toronto forechecker. And now BU comes through center ice onside with Ross Gaudette. Dropping back to Glass. His shot deflects to the far corner. Clendenning in there. He can't get to the puck. It's cleared out to center ice by Dan Brewer. Comes all the way in behind Krause. Warsowski knocked off the puck, but Krause able to poke it away from the forechecking Toronto varsity blue. That was Charlie McDonald. Far side, Glass coming up, having trouble controlling, but he finally gets enough on it to clear it all the way in. Nice dump there by Gaudette. BU will go for the change. Turned over, Gill gets hit high. That could have been an elbow. Gill took a good shot there right in the face mask. He gets back up.
And that might be an elbow. The ref's got his hand up. We're going to have a penalty coming. So we'll have to see what the call is, but I assume it's on that Gill hit.
Delayed penalty coming up against Toronto. Krause out of his net. McGregor has the puck in the BU zone. McGregor turning away from a check. There's two Toronto players there. They take the puck away. The whistle is blown. And that's one of the things the college hockey game is trying to get away from, especially the NHL, are those elbows to the head. And right there, yeah, Gill was pretty defenseless. And that was a very, very, very dangerous elbowing call. Number 14, Kyle Ventura, goes off for the elbow, just a 2-minute minor.
And Tristan, we saw at times last year that even calls that were along those lines that might have been only a little more severe resulted in 5-minute majors and ejections at times last year. Specifically, a couple times against Merrimack it happened. So you have to keep, the refs want to take away the shots to the head and limit the defenseless shots.
Power play for BU. Noonan and DeCastro on the points. Santana, Megan, and Nieto up front. Back to DeCastro, quickly downloaded to Nieto. He can't control. It's clear to the blue line, but not out. Noonan, a quick shot saved by Martin. He blocks it off to the near corner. Right there is Nieto. Good job by Megan to step in. 3-on-1 in the corner, won by the Terriers. Wade Megan comes away, plays it back to Noonan on the near point. Noonan, a quick shot on net. Goes off of Santana to the far corner. Cleared all the way down the ice by Toronto, at least the center ice. And now finally all the way down by number 8, Bryden Teach, who had 2 goals in their exhibition game this past weekend. 3:56 to play, 1:06 on the power play.
And the Terriers trying to get something going here on the power play, not able to so far. Toronto doing a very good job of not allowing the Terriers to settle into the offensive zone, but it looks like they may have here.
Charlie Coyle, good job controlling the puck along the far half boards. Now Connolly has it, top line out there. Warsowski and Clendenning. Clendenning sets a pick, quick one-timer for Connolly. He can't get a shot off, but Clendenning has it on the far point. Down to Connolly at the hash marks. He'll walk up on top, switches places with Warsowski. One-timer for Warsowski, broke his stick right in half. BU still controls, however, to Connolly. Connolly in the left face-off circle. He'll spin back. Warsowski back on the ice. Coyle has it near corner, looking back to Warsowski on top. Now for Clendenning. Quick shot on, deflects right in behind Martin. He didn't see it. Connolly still has it. 18 to go on the power play. Coyle on top, one-timer from Warsowski, down low to Connolly. Connolly swooping in behind the net, turns it back for Clendenning. Clendenning looking now in front. It gets deflected. It'll go all the way out of the zone and down the ice. Good thought from Clendenning, but a little bit too much commotion in front.
Good movement there from the Terriers, but you'd like to see them just put the puck on net and try to make something happen. They had 2 guys stationed down low next to Martin, waiting for an attempt, but never got there, and as a result, it gets sent out of the zone.
Power play over, but Ross Gaudette, a quick rush up the ice. His shot goes wide, and the horn blows. 2:36. Don't know why the whistle.
hard to tell. It didn't look like he was offsides. There was no one out. It looked like the Terriers had gone for a line change, and Gaudette was taking advantage of the Blues taking a line change as well. He was trying to get up there, but it looked like we'll have a draw outside of the Toronto defensive zone.
2:36 on the clock. 2-2 the score. 2 power play goals for the University of Toronto. 2 goals for the Terriers. Charlie Coyle had the second, a power play goal that tied this game up at 2. First goal came from Ross Gaudette. Toronto has possession in the offensive zone, played in behind the net. Good work here from Toronto. They really haven't had any sustained offensive pressure, minus their power play opportunities.
Well, that was a staple of the BU offense at times last year. You'd love to see those Zach Cohen, Corey Trevino lines get in and have long shifts, about 45 to a minute and a half each, where they would just stay in the offensive zone and pepper goalies. But we haven't seen anything like that out of the Terriers or the Blues so far tonight.
Turnover in the defensive zone for the Terriers led to a shot on goal, but got deflected wide before they could even get on net. Now BU again has possession. Escobedo plays it up the near side boards, cross ice pass for Cisse. He dumps it in, takes a check, gives a little bit of it back, and now Sahir Gill into the corner. He can't control the puck, and away comes Toronto through center ice. That's Gilroy stepping in, and now Rosen has it. He's out there with McGregor as a defensive pairing. Rosen turns away from one check, plays it dangerously behind the net. It turns it over. Kay, who has a goal for Toronto, steals it away. Now a chance in front. Wraparound shot. Score! He tucks it in nicely. What a play there by Byron Elliott, the third-year player from Burlington, Ontario, walking out of the corner and just sticks it nicely into the corner.
And Krause thought he had it all the real estate covered, but Elliott able to find a nice little spot deep in the right corner, came all the way around the crease to put it in the back of the net, and Krause just didn't get over in time.
Very, very nifty play right there from Elliott. Didn't think he had much room to go there, but he was able to get it inside that far post.
And if you're Coach Parker, what you want to see right now is how the team responds to going back down again. This is the second time in this period they've gone down a goal, so you'd like to see how they respond to adversity.
1:12 to play in the period. 3-2 now Toronto. A late goal for the Varsity Blues. BU right on the forecheck. Controlling. Nieto in front. Can't get the puck. Noonan. A quick shot onto the far post looking for a pass/shot. But it's knocked away, and away comes Toronto. Onsides the other way. Quick shot on. Krause makes the glove save and holds on for the whistle with 51 seconds to play in the first period. And there's one of the only players you'll see on the ice with a face mask for Toronto. That's number 8, Bryden Teach, third-year player from Toronto, Ontario. The Villanova Knights were his former team. Mentioned he had a couple goals in their last game. Teach wearing the full face shield. The rest of the team having the half shields on. Changes the way you play the game.
Yeah, something we're certainly not used to seeing, as in Hockey East and in college hockey in general, it's required you wear the full mask. So a little bit of a different look, but
I like it.
I think it makes the game go a little quicker, to be honest.
Puck along the near boards. Cleared out to center ice by Coyle, but turned over, and Toronto back the other way. Body, pass back, shot on. Krause has to reach up with the blocker. He makes the save. The puck pops in behind him, but behind the net. Now Warsawski. BU having some trouble in their own zone. Warsawski dangles around 2 players and hands it off to Charlie Coyle. He'll hand off to Clendenning, joining the rush. Clendenning cutting in through the circle, has the puck knocked off his stick. 15 seconds to play in the period. Pass in front. Connolly shot. Score! Chris Connolly with 10 seconds to go. Picks up the turnover. Top shelf. Mama keeps the cookie jar. 3-3.
And how did Connolly find the back of the net on that one? A great job of finding just a little space on the top left corner. A great shot there by Connolly. The puck seemed to just fall on his stick, and Connolly, smart play to go right to the net in case anything happens. Something did happen. He scored a goal.
3-3. The Terriers respond with a late first period goal. 10 seconds remaining. What an exciting first period.
Yeah, we're off to a quick start here.
Toronto controls the face-off, and that should do it for the first period. They'll just bring it in behind their own net, kill the final 10 seconds. And that'll do it for the first period of play. 3-3 our score after the first period. An exciting, fast-paced, poor defensive first period, I guess you would say, for both teams. 2 power play goals for the University of Toronto, 1 for the Terriers. Some lucky bounces and some nice finishes. Charlie Coyle and both Chris Connolly, both nice top shelf shots. Ross Gaudette had that nice redirect. And you got to give the University of Toronto credit. The last goal there from Elliott, a very nice shot and the pass across the crease to Kay on the power play. A beautiful goal.
Yeah, as you mentioned, defense isn't exactly at a premium tonight. 3-3 at the end of one period. And you could tell that both teams, well, especially the Terriers, not when you haven't had as much practice, you're just relying strictly on your skills and what you can do individually. So not as much team play, although we've seen a couple of great combinations with the first line, Connolly, Coyle, and Pereira, but not as much movement as you would expect. And as a result, a lot of scoring going on, so not much defense, and we expect it'll continue to be that way for the rest of the game. But a lot of fun, and if you're a fan, this is what you come to see. You come to see a lot of goal scoring and high octane, and the Terriers doing what they do best is scoring goals and exciting the fans in the stands.
Once again, folks, our score after one period of play is Toronto 3, Boston University 3. Have a little bit of a break here. We'll be right back with our first intermission report. You'll be joined by Paul Ryan and Greg Picker, the 2010-11 men's hockey beat reporters. Chris Aliano also part of that trio. He'll be with us shortly this season, but we'll be glad to bring you all the coverage of BU men's hockey all season long. WTBUSportsRadio.com. Thanks for listening on BU All Access. Filling in for Bernie Corbett tonight. Hope I'm doing a good job for you folks out there that were tuned in hoping for Bernie Corbett tonight. But once again, thanks for tuning in to BU All Access for this free test run for those folks who may be thinking about getting BU All Access this season for not only men's hockey, but also for men's and women's basketball. Women's soccer is also on here, men's soccer, field hockey. Almost all the BU athletics sporting events are on BU All Access. So glad to have you with us. Also, WTBUSportsRadio.com. If you haven't already, check us out. If you like what you see, once again, folks, our score after one period, 3-3 between Toronto and Boston University. We'll be right back after this.
The Boston University men's ice hockey, WTB.
Hands off the shot for Shankar. Through the Sabaneri shot. Score! Vinny Sabaneri finds the puck and finds the puck through Rawlings. It's 5-4 Terriers.
The 2009 national champions return to the ice this season, looking to bring the title back to BU.
45 seconds to go. The penalty. Call it, shot, goal! And that'll do it, folks. The Boston University Terriers have come into Sungus Arena. They have defeated the #1 preseason ranked UMass Low Riverhawks, and they send the UML fans home disappointed. The Terriers have won on an amazing goal by Colby Cohen.
Stay tuned all season long as WTB Sports brings you continuing coverage of everything BU hockey.
Benino over to help out. Benino comes away. Has some room. Benino trying to work out in front. Wraparound chance. He scores! Nick Benino, the beautiful wraparound. It's 1-0 Terriers, and again it's a rush.
And check out WTBUSportsRadio.com, where our beat reporters will keep you posted throughout the season.
Any kind of meet, tennis, I'm majoring in economics and math as a joint major. I picked that major because I'm more gifted at math and science and reading and writing, and I just feel it fits me. Hopefully I'll be able to do something in the future.
Well, welcome back to it.
I like to watch.
Welcome back to Agganis Arena here for the first intermission report. I'm Greg Picker, joined alongside by fellow beat reporter Paul Ryan. And Paul, quite the crazy first period. Score 3-3 at the end of one. Both teams getting plenty of chances. Defense for the Terriers, maybe not what we had hoped to see that first period, but the freshmen sure did shine.
Yeah, one freshman I really noticed, especially on that first goal, was Yassine Cisse, who made an incredible play on that pass to the point. It was Andrew Glass who threw that puck to the point. Looked like Cisse was going to take that pass, made a Mario Lemieux-esque play, if you would say, from the Olympics, where he just let it go between his legs, right back to the point to Rosen. Got guys driving to the net. That's always good to see. That was Ross Gaudet driving to the net. Great tip in there. So it's always good to see. You see the freshmen, they look like they're playing heads-up hockey. Cisse with a great play there on that first goal.
Yeah, and Cisse doesn't show up on the score sheet on that play, that Ross Gaudet goal from Ben Rosen and Andrew Glass. So there are plays like that where if you're only looking at the score sheet, you may not have any idea that a lot of that goal comes from Cisse.
But you know who's watching this game is Jack Parker, who's sitting just a few boxes over from us, and he realizes that. He notices Cisse is playing the smart heads-up hockey. So if you're just watching, if you're, like you said, Greg, if you're just looking at the box score, it doesn't look too great, but I mean, if you see the plays he's making on the ice, if you're watching what he's doing, he knows exactly what he's doing out there.
And the Terriers took a 1-0 lead at that point at 8:14 of the first period. Then Toronto came back less than 2 minutes later. Kyle Ventura had the goal.
Yeah, Ventura, great just follow-up on the play. First shot was blocked by a Terriers defender, came right back and just fired the puck over the shoulder of Adam Krause. So great play there by Ventura. And then on the next Toronto goal, it was a complete just show of flip of emotions there, as Pereira looked like he had scored. That goal waved off. And then 11 seconds later, after Pereira was called for interference on that same exact play, it was a power play for Toronto, just tic-tac-toe. Pass from the right side to the offside post, just tap it right in. Absolutely nothing Adam Krause could do. So really, just complete switch in the gamut of emotions for this crowd, going nuts for that 2-1 lead for the Terriers, but the goal's called back, and then given back to Toronto, and Toronto scores that goal to make it 2-1. So just completely flipping the emotions there for both teams.
Yeah, and that's a play that on the other end, what we're talking about, that Coach Jack Parker will notice. Defender left, or the defense of the Terriers left that Toronto Varsity Blue all alone. It was just a simple tap in for him to give the Varsity Blues, the 2-1 lead. And then just a couple minutes later, another freshman, Charlie Coyle, well, the first freshman to score for the Terriers this game, but another freshman making a great play. Charlie Coyle put one past Martin for the Terriers.
Well, as you can see, Coyle's a first-round pick by the hands he has in front of the net. It's not easy to flip that puck up quick and easy. Just you're about a foot or two outside the crease, just pop it up top shelf. That's exactly what Coyle did. Great passing play. Just get the puck deep. That's what you want to do on a power play. Puck finds its way to Pereira behind the net, who passes to Connolly, who just gets it right out in front to Coyle, who has that size to stand in front of the net at 6'2", 207. So he can just stand in front of the net, use his big body there, shield the players off, get that puck, and just fire it up top. So great to see Coyle score. And really, it's great to see Coyle on the power play, just looking smart. Again, the freshmen just look like they know what they're doing out there. That's something you really like to see, especially this early in the season in an exhibition game.
Yeah, that Coyle goal comes at 13:40 of the first period from Chris Connolly and Joe Pereira. That's the first line tonight for BU. Then, about 5 minutes later, Toronto took the lead again. It was Byron Elliott on a goal right in front of the net. And take us through that one.
Well, really, it was Ben Rosen who started the play for the Terriers. Had the puck in his own zone. BU was having trouble breaking out. He tried to make a D-to-D pass behind his own net to Patrick McGregor, who's his defense partner. He actually kind of whipped on the puck. Toronto regained possession of the puck, got it to Elliott, who started from behind the net, worked his way in front, made a power move to get around Krause. Krause looked like he could have poke-checked it away. It looked like Elliott walked right through the crease. And if any of you fans remember when BC and BU played in the Hockey East semifinals, I believe it was 2 years ago, Zach Cohen made a very similar play, working his way out front and getting the puck right around John Muse. So if you can visualize that, that's exactly what Elliott did, working his way to the front. Very strong move. Terriers got to put a body on him. And really, it's just breaking out of your own zone. One of those simple fundamentals of hockey comes back to bite the Terriers.
That Zach Cohen goal that was referenced. If you're not too familiar with the situation, the Terriers, that was one of the 3 goals that the Terriers scored in 44 seconds to give BU the 3-1 lead in the third period against Boston College. So at that point, score was 3-2 Toronto, and with just a little bit of time left in the first period, Chris Connolly, who seemed to have a great first period, shows up on the score sheet twice here with the goal. Found lots of empty space, it seems, throughout the entire period, and he tied the score up at 3.
Yeah, you said it to me, Greg, during the period, maybe it was about 4 minutes left after Toronto scored that goal. It was just Connolly walking around. It looked like he had 5 feet, 10 feet. They were just giving him space in front of him. Connolly is a great skater. You can tell he worked on his skating in the offseason. So Connolly gets the shot in front. The puck finds him again, much like the first goal for Toronto, and he just fired that puck top shelf. 10 seconds left to go. So that's really a backbreaker for Toronto. They had a lead going into the period. You can't give up a goal with less than a minute in the period. I mean, that's really when you want to shut down the other team. Just get the puck out of the zone and go into the locker room with the 1-goal lead. So really, that hurt Toronto a lot. But it's good to see Connolly score. Connolly was probably the best Terrier out there for Coach Bavis. So good to see Connolly skate well. Good to see the captains really show up on the score sheet. Pereira did a great job. Connolly a great job. So captain's doing well. Warzowski as well, an assistant this year. So captain's doing well. And freshmen look really good. So, I mean, overall, a pretty good period for the Terriers. Defense could have been a little better, but overall, pretty good period, I would say.
Now, other than Chris Connolly, like you mentioned, who would you say stood out the most for the Terriers in that first period?
I was watching Nieto a lot. I mean, he didn't do too much there, but, I mean, on the power play, Nieto looked like he had the hands, as we heard before we saw him. He really had the hands, knows where the puck is going. It looks like he could see the play before it's coming, as all good hockey players can. So Nieto's one guy I was watching. Definitely Coyle was another guy I was watching out there. And Ryan Santana really surprised me. I mean, he was a fourth-line center for most of the year, if that. I mean, sometimes he probably played in about 20 games last year. He played in 30 games. I apologize. Only had one assist. So I think Santana might be a guy that surprises us this year. I mean, he was a highly touted recruit last year. He's a sophomore this year. He's 6'1", 180. So he's got the size. It's just a matter of putting it out there, putting it all in practice. I mean, this could be a big year for Ryan Santana. 10, 15 goals this year maybe. It might be a little too much, but I mean, second, third line, he's going to get chances.
Yeah, he'll probably end up being pushed down in the lineup in the future once Chiasson and Corey Trevino come back from the suspension. So we'll have to see how many chances Santana will get. Total of 5 penalties in the first period, 2 against BU, 3 against the University of Toronto. Both BU penalties, the ones against Wade Megan and Joe Pereira, resulted in Toronto goals. And then the one Toronto penalty against Jeff Zippel resulted in a Terrier goal. So the Terriers 1 for 3 on the power play in the first period. Toronto 2 for 2. One other thing we have to talk about, what do you think about the play of Adam Kraus?
Well, I mean, you see 3 goals, immediately you think 3 goals and 11 shots. That's not too great. I mean, Kraus really can't be faulted for the first goal. He definitely can't be faulted for the second one. That's all on the defense. The third, really, that's one where you say, you should poke check him. But, I mean, I thought Kraus played pretty well. If Kieran's in net, maybe that's 1 or 2 goals in the first period. But, you're not really going to see Kraus too much, I think, after that period. I think that kind of might have killed his hopes for the year of being the number 2 goaltender. It's kind of a shame because, as I said, not really all his fault. But, I mean, 3 goals and 11 shots. I mean, you got to do better than that.
We'll have to see if Kraus comes out for about the first 10 minutes of the second period, or if Coach Bavis decides to put Grant Rollheiser in for the final 40 minutes of this game. About 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the the first intermission. What else? Any other thoughts as we head into the second period?
Well, the Terriers just need to build on that goal in the last 10 seconds. That was huge to get that goal, and really just build on that momentum. The crowd's really into this game. It's really nice to see the crowd supporting this team. You always see early on in the season big crowds out here. So, I mean, they just got to feed off the crowd, and hopefully they have their legs under them after the first 20. They looked a little nervous, a little tentative in the first maybe 5-10 minutes, but by the end of the period, looked like they were skating well. Can't take penalties. That's, I think, the number one thing. As you said, 2 for 2 on the power play is Toronto. So penalties are the one thing. Stay out of the box. I think you'll be fine.
As the referees take the ice for the second period, just about 2 minutes to go, we will take a commercial break and then give it back to Tristan Hobbs and Brian Levine with the call of the second period.
TVU Sports.
Back to Colby Cohen, one-time shot, score! Kanata didn't even see it. Colby Cohen scores.
That's the middle. Warsowski shot, goal! David Warsowski puts the Terriers on top.
Back the other way, Wahlberg, a quick shot and a save by Milan. In for BU, Benito has it, Benito, to Connolly, score! Connolly rips it home in 3-0 Terriers.
Welcome back to Agganis Arena. Tristan Hobbs and Brian Levine getting set for period number 2, looking at some first half stats, or for some first period stats. Gotta get my mind off of the soccer craze here, but first half stats, 21 shots attempted by BU. 6 were blocked by the Toronto defense. 2 missed the net, 13 were on target. 10 saves for Toronto's Martin. For the University of Toronto, 15 shots attempted, 3 were blocked by the Terriers, 1 missed. Adam Kraus saw 11 shots. He made 8 saves. 3-3 our score. Going over that scoring summary real quick for you. Ross Gaudette, first goal of the game from Rosen and Glass. Ventura tied it up for the University of Toronto. That was from Bergen and Body. And then Kay made it 2-1, a power play goal from Markovic and Elliott. And then Charlie Coyle, a power play goal of his own from Chris Connolly and Joe Pereira, tied it at 2 at the 13:40 mark. And then Toronto quickly responded just over 5 minutes later. Elliott gets the goal from Kay, made it 3-2, and then with 10 seconds to go in the first, Chris Connolly tied things up at 3 from Clendenning and Pereira. That's where we stand. 3-3 the score. 5-on-5 to start the second period. Tristan Hobbs, Brian Levine, thanks for joining us.
And a very up and down game to start, and we expect more of the same as these two teams. The Terriers very talented, but not a lot of practice time, so defense not entirely there, and as a result, a ton of offense early.
Quick pass up to Charlie Coyle. He can't control. Toronto plays off high off the glass. And now they have through center ice on the far side. Pass in the middle, knocked away. Chris Connolly quickly turning back the other way to Pereira. Pereira through to Coyle. A quick shot wide of the far post. Warsowski throws it back down deep along the far side. Coming out of the corner is Charlie Coyle. Good size, good strength, good speed, good shot for Coyle. He loses the puck, however, and now Toronto has it at the blue line. Elliott, a soft flip down the ice. Will it make it? It will not make it far enough for an icing as Warsowski picks it up behind his own goal line. Now Pereira at the blue line to center ice for Coyle. He'll dump it in. 5-man change for the Terriers. That'll bring out the second line of Megan Nieto and Ryan Santana. At the point will be Escobedo and Ryan Reicha. Reicha had some trouble in the first period, but you can't blame him. He hasn't played a really competitive game since he got here to BU. Loose puck in the far corner, knocked down by Santana. He's hampered from behind, but gets the puck off to Megan. Megan looking, shot on, saved by Martin off the shoulder. Puck goes to the far corner, picked up there by Nieto. Back on top for Escobedo. His shot blocked away right to the stick of number 27, Anthony Bergen. Bergen gains the blue line, now throws it in behind Adam Kraus. Kraus turns it over behind the net. Right there is Ventura. Ventura had a goal in the first period. Puck along the far boards, sprung free, and now Megan has some room through center ice. Megan will gain the blue line, throw it in on Martin. He gloves it and will play it away. Another 5-man change for the Terriers. Cisse, Gaudette, and Glass as that puck's deflected all the way down just wide of Kraus. Icing called against Toronto with 18:13 to play.
And this is the line I'm liking to watch tonight. Cisse, a very talented player, has already had one huge hit, and you've seen some of the offensive skills that he has. Gaudette will be looked upon to be one of the top scorers for Boston University this season as he came on late. 10 goals in the second half of the season last year. Those were all in Hockey East contests. And Glass alongside them. Glass could be one of the better scorers for Boston University if his skills have gotten better. He needed work on his finishing, and if that's gotten better, he could be a great scorer for this Terrier team.
Face off to Martin's right is won by Gaudette, but Toronto controls as that puck is dumped in behind the net, but flipped out of play by Bergen over the Terriers bench. It's a souvenir for a lucky fan here at Agganis Arena. Terriers, this is just the exhibition game. They had their first official practice yesterday. So these guys are still learning. These lines will definitely change up as the season progresses. They open up things next Friday against Wisconsin in St. Louis. The Icebreaker will be there. WTBU Sports Radio.com will be there broadcasting from the Scott Trade Center. Toronto wins the draw and controls out through center ice. Stopped there by the Terriers, but they dump back in behind. Kraus can't stop it. It comes free now to Nicastro, who spins it back around for Noonan. Noonan, his pass bounces off his stick, turned over, pass in front, still loose. Chance for Toronto, they can't get a shot off, and now Glass comes away through center ice. Offensive chance for the Terriers. Glass, right circle, pass across, deflected on, saved by Martin. That puck was into the skates of Noonan. It gets deflected on, now a turnover for Glass. To Gaudette, shot on, saved by Martin, turned away to the far corner. Comes back in behind the net, giving chase there is Glass. Glass wins the battle. Now he's up against the boards. Back turn to the play, trying to keep the puck alive. Now Cisse joins the battle. Good battle going on here behind the net. Puck is finally forked free by Toronto. They'll get it to center ice. Tired out there. Teak can't even get it deep. And now BU has it in their own zone. Bad pass, though, out to center ice. Turned over, gives Toronto a chance to finish up that change. 16:58 to play in the second period. 3-3 the score.
And that's more the type of shift that we saw a lot from this Boston University team last year when they'd be able to dump it in and really control the puck in the offensive zone for an extended amount of time.
Gilroy knocks the puck down at the blue line, but the BU cannot control in the offensive zone. And away comes Toronto. They'll dump it in. Good job there by Kizito, throwing it back in behind Kraus. Puck pops free in that right face-off dot, but finally BU able to control and dump it out to center ice. That's as far as they get. Toronto stops him at the blue line. McGregor throwing his body around a 6-man pileup along the far blue line, right in front of the Toronto bench. Rosen throws it in. Martin has some trouble, falls to his knee, but Toronto comes away off that far half board. To center ice, good back check there from Gilroy. He can't get the puck. It's thrown back in behind Kraus to the far corner. 16:05 to play. 3-3 the score. BU and Toronto. Pass up to Gilroy at center ice. He plays it back to Sahir Gill. He can't control. Neither can Rosen. He nearly turns it over, but gets it into the Toronto zone.
And Tristan, these periods in this exhibition game, while it's great to see the young freshmen, you want it, this is the game where some of the guys in the third and fourth lines really have to step up and show that they deserve a spot in the everyday rotation. Justin Courtnall says, here, Gil, I'm talking to you boys. This is the game where they can really step up and make a name for themselves and get themselves into stressing for every game.
Pereira and Coyle battling along the far boards. Great battle there between those two. Now free. Connolly tripped up. Penalty coming. The puck comes to Coyle in the far corner. Coyle turns away from one check, goes down to a knee, gets back up, plays it out to the blue line, but it's touched, and a whistle is blown as Elliott gets a stick on it, and now Elliott and Warsawski have some words. But a tripping penalty coming up against Toronto with 15-18 remaining in the second period. Good job there by Pereira and Coyle. Coyle, from first impressions, looks like one of those grinders that can really win a lot of battles along the boards.
And more importantly, something I've noticed with Coyle is that he's a very good face-off guy. In addition to a lot of things, something BU hasn't had in a long time, really in the last couple of years. They haven't had a single very, very good face-off guy, but it seems that Coyle could be one of those players for the Terriers. Right now, Terriers 14-14 on face-offs. We'll get the updated score on Coyle, but it looks like he's having a lot of success.
Top power play line out there. Well, at least it is tonight. Coyle, Connolly, Pereira, Clendenning, and Warsawski. BU controls the face-off. On the far side, it's Coyle. On top, Clendenning. A quick shot off the post to the far side for Coyle to control. He'll swing it back around for Pereira. It comes full circle. All the way back on top for Warsawski. Warsawski keeps it into the blue line, makes one move, is free. Now Warsawski to Connolly in the near circle, but he can't control. The pass was broken up just a bit, just enough to knock it away from Connolly. Now Warsawski again dancing in. One-time shot, Clendenning. It's blocked away. Warsawski can really move the puck on his stick. It comes free to Coyle. Coyle in behind the net. On top, his pass knocked down and away from Connolly, but it comes back out to Warsawski. Connolly now, right circle, has some room. 1:19 to go on the power play. Warsawski winds up, shot on shoulder, save from Martin as Coyle picks up the rebound behind the net. Coyle using his body beautifully to shield the puck away there from number 2, Tyler Turcotte. BU still controls Connolly behind the net. 1 minute to go on the power play. Coyle, a quick shot, saved by Martin. Great setup there from Connolly as Coyle is turned away. Back on top, Warsawski looking. Quick shot on, saved by Martin through a screen. Good job by BU getting pucks to the net. Connolly swoops up, backdoor pass, looking for Clendenning. He can't control it, and Toronto has possession, looking to clear here for the first time. Through center ice, a long pass. It'll go all the way down for icing. Again, that exhibition rule, icing on the penalty kill, not allowed.
And Tristan,
I just still can't get my head wrapped around that.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for sure, but we're talking a lot about Coyle, and to give Terrier fans an idea of what you're seeing, Coyle looks pretty much like a gritty Colin Wilson in his freshman year of sorts. Maybe not as much on the passing ability, but Coyle's doing a great job of getting involved in the play where you hear his name a lot because he's getting on top of the puck any way he can. He's doing a great job of moving things for this Terrier team.
BU wins the faceoff. 34 seconds to go on the power play. Nieto on top for Escobedo. Escobedo, right circle, Megan, quick pass, shot saved by Martin, rebound. Gaudette gets knocked down as he went after it, and is cleared up along the far glass and all the way down the ice. Icing called. Some great puck movement here tonight from the Terriers. That was a great pass from Escobedo. I believe it was Megan that had the quick shot that Martin turned away, but great passing, and they're actually controlling them. Last year, BU had real problems controlling some of those passes on the power play.
Yeah, you can see some of the Terriers, the returning Terriers, are having success moving the puck pretty effectively. when you're able to cross the ice like that, that's what gives teams a lot of problems. When we talked to Coach Parker, he said that's what they were always looking for, that cross ice pass to really get the power play offense going.
BU wins the draw again. Megan, right circle, down low, Nieto walking out past the Megan. It goes all the way through to Escobedo. Back on top, 5 seconds to go on the power play. Escobedo loses the pass. Now a chance for Toronto. In, shot on. Kraus doesn't have to make the save. Great back check there. Looked like it was Nicastro that got back. That was Teach that had the chance for the University of Toronto, but a great back-checking job there done by the Terriers. Net comes off. Score remains 3-3.
And Nicastro couldn't get a handle on the puck in the offensive zone. A great play there by Toronto to steal the puck and put some pressure on. Nicastro struggles to get back a little bit, able to get a little bit of a stick on it though, as he slows up Toronto. So the net comes off the moorings, and we'll have a face-off in the offensive zone for the Blues.
A full 5-man change for the Terriers. Face-off will be outside of the zone on the far side. 13:15 remains in the second period. 3-3 the score. BU starting to run away with shots on goal. They've really controlled this entire second period. 21-11 now the scoreboard reads. Adam Kraus hasn't really, I don't think he's faced a shot yet this period.
No, the Terriers have done a good job of keeping him pretty clean, and mostly because the offense has been so effective. Also, they've had a power play or two, so they've been very successful in that regard at controlling the play. And that's what you want to see if you're the Terrier team, a team with, you expect that it's more talented than this University of Toronto team, and you want to see them impose their talent and really start to use it effectively and really control this game.
Fourth line out there, Cordinal, Gill, and Gilroy. Cordinal has the puck onside, loses it, but Gill right there to pick it up. Quick wrist shot saved by Martin. Nice quick shot there from Sahir Gill. Puck comes to the blue line. McGregor steps up, takes the body, but the puck comes free to center ice, where Cordinal has it in his own zone. Cross ice pass for Gilroy. He can't control. Martin coming out of his net. He'll play it away. Gilroy there to pick his pocket, and now Cordinal has it in the far corner. Cordinal turning away, knocked down. Good physical presence to step up, get back on his feet. Now Gill tries to pass it back to McGregor. Flubs the pass, but BU still controls. Turning in the corner is Cordinal, has it knocked away from him, but McGregor keeps it in on the backhand. Across to Rosen. He can't get a shot off. It slides off his stick. He still keeps it in, however. It goes to the far corner. Sahir Gill picks it up. Quick pass in front, deflected. Martin has to make the toe save. And now Toronto has possession out through center ice. They'll gain the red line, throw it in on Kraus, and go for the 5-man change.
And Kevin Gilroy and Justin Cordinal both had very good shifts there. Looked like they were ready. They came out ready to play, and Ben Rosen managed to recover after not being able to take that pass. So we're starting to see some of the returning Terriers having some very good shifts.
BU can't control or can't clear their own zone. It's knocked down at the blue line by Toronto. Played back to the point, kept in by the Varsity Blues. Knocked down in that right circle. Chance here for Toronto on the offensive attack. McGregor's been out there a while. You can see he's got tired legs. Kraus pokes that one away. Glass going after it. He'll pick it up in the far corner. Has a chance to wheel out of the zone. Glass turning away from one check. Nice little spin move there. He'll play it off to Rosen. Rosen across his own blue line through center ice to Glass now. Glass has Cisse with him. He'll spin back on top to Warsowski. His slap shot pass to the far post, knocked away and cleared out to center ice. 11:20 to play in the period, still tied at 3.
And you can see Cisse looked a little tentative on there to get aggressive and go hard to the net as he was trying to stay open for Glass. Glass was looking for him to go down low, but Cisse didn't go to the net.
Toronto again controls and finally clears out to center ice. Clendenning stops it right there. He's back offensively. He'll throw it down into the near corner. Change for the Terriers. Out comes Chris Connolly and company. Joe Pereira, Charlie Coyle joining him. Puck comes to the blue line. Pereira right there ducks a check. Wow. Pretty athletic play there by Pereira to duck away from that check, but the puck still comes free to center ice. Now finally Toronto able to dump in, go for a change. Clendenning turning behind his own net, plays off to Warsowski, wearing the assistant captain letter A this season. Connolly and Pereira both have the C's on their uniform. Poked away on the far side boards. Coyle through center ice. Nice move. Hands off to Pereira onside. Drops it back to Clendenning. Clendenning looking below the right circle. Now turning back in the near corner. Plays it off to Connolly atop the right circle. Connolly walking in. Shot on. Saved by Martin. Rebound still free. Coyle trying to kick it over to Pereira. But now a pile up in front of the net. Pereira down on the ice. The referee going over trying to get the Toronto player off of Joe Pereira. That was even more dangerous, I thought. A lot of skates going around. Pereira just laying on the ice. trying not to get hurt.
You could see Pereira the minute he saw the feet coming, he just covered his head up and just held on for dear life. But that's what Pereira does. He's going to dig in and try to create something out of nothing. And there have been times where he'll come up big because he puts that little extra effort in, specifically the Michigan game where he scored the game-winning goal strictly because he was putting in the extra effort and doing due diligence to cover a puck. But this first line has looked absolutely phenomenal, and Charlie Coyle definitely looks like he's going to be a great college center. So you start to wonder, the Terriers will be without Alex Chiasson and Corey Trevino for the next 2 games in addition to this one. But you start to wonder how the lines will start to shape up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, that's right. Trevino and Chiasson both out for this game, as well as the next 2 games, suspended for breaking team rules. So they'll be out, not playing in the Icebreaker next weekend in St. Louis. We'll be playing. We'll be there as Toronto controls the faceoff and clears it down into the BU zone. Ryan Reicha back to pick it up, and BU will break out of their own zone, but a bad pass at center ice turns it over to Toronto, but BU gets it right back as Reicha again. Deja Vu plays it to the far side, and now BU through center ice. On that far side, it's Megan. Megan tries to make a toe drag around the defenseman Turcotte. He can't do it. Puck comes free. Nieto, quick pass in front, chance on score! Ryan Santana from Nieto. It's 4-3 Terriers. Beautiful passing, a beautiful finish by Santana. It's 4-3 with 9:49 to play in the second.
Matt Nieto, a great job of bringing it down and taking the defenders with him. 3 defenders had their heads turned to Nieto on the play. Gives Santana a great lane to come and swoop in and take control of the puck and just put it in the back of the net. A fantastic play there. And those guys look like they've been playing together forever, but they've only had 1 practice together. Nieto, another freshman, 5'11", 183. Very excited for him, and that's why he's a great passer.
That gives the Terriers a chance to make the goalie switch. Grant Rolheiser will come in for Adam Krause. So Krause plays the first half. Grant will get the second half of this evening's game. 4-3 Terriers. Ryan Santana finds the back of the net. That's Santana's first goal as a Terrier, albeit in an exhibition game. Santana had just 1 assist last year in his freshman year.
And you mentioned that coaches changed it up. Rolheiser goes in goal now for the Terriers. And when we talked to Coach Parker at Media Day, he said wanted to clear it up immediately. Kieran Milan will be in net for about 2/3 of the season's games, while Krause and Rolheiser will split the other third.
Toronto has possession in the offensive zone in behind the net. Picked up there by Elliott. He's already got a goal and an assist this evening. Back to the point, shot on, deflected wide, comes right back out in front. Rolheiser will jump on top of it and cover it up. 9:16 to play. 4-3 to score, 25-12. The shots on goal in favor of the Terriers.
And the Terriers having a lot of success putting it in deep. They're doing a great job of moving the puck, and they're so effective because they're spacing themselves out very well. At times you've seen Toronto really not do a good job of spacing themselves out. You've seen a lot shorter passes and a lot of one-touch, trying quick movement from the Varsity Blues, but the Terriers doing a good job of using up all of the ice, and as a result, they're spreading out this Varsity Blues team to the tune of 4 goals.
4-3 Terriers face off to Rolheiser's right. Great size for a goaltender in Grant Rolheiser. Looking at the numbers, 6'4", 208. Looks like a NHL caliber goaltender. That's what they expect him to be. See how he plays this year. Had a pretty decent year last year. It seemed like every game he played in, it was a tie.
Yeah, Roley was one of the top-rated North American goalies, and you could see why at times. A lot of skill there.
Here comes Toronto again on the offensive opportunity. Knocked away, though, in the corner. That was a good job by Blake Body. Knocked off the puck. Shots this period 12-0 in favor of BU as the puck comes along in the near boards. All the way down. No icing called. Sahir Gill after it first. Hands off to Courtnall. In behind the net. Courtnall gets it right back. Turning there. Shakes off one check. Courtnall still has it on his stick, but finally poked away a little bit too long on the possession. Back the other way comes Teach. Teach shot blocked by Noonan into the near corner. Good job by Noonan getting back. He'll spin now in the near corner. Turns it over. Teach in front. Backhand save. Rolheiser twice. 2 big saves from Grant Rolheiser, robbing Toronto, keeping this game 4-3. The initial save and then the rebound stop. 8:13 to play.
And Rolheiser, shake off the rust early, fella. You're getting tested. As right on the doorstep, has to make 2 quick saves, but Roley is up to the task tonight.
Toronto possesses on the far side. They'll just flick it up through center ice right in front of their own bench. 7:57 to play, 4-3 BU. Tristan Hobbs, Brian Levine with you. Glad to have you. No icing call. Pereira after it first. It comes in behind. Charlie Coyle, a quick pass in front, knocked away. Back to him in the far corner. Coyle walking out of the corner. Still has it into the slot. Trick shot goes wide of a screen. Martin trying to wrap around chance. It comes all the way through the crease. And back to center ice where Toronto turns it over. Good try there by Connolly. In their own zone, McGregor has it for the Terriers. His pass through center ice broken up. Chance Teach shot on. Rolheiser makes the save atop his crease. 3-on-2 chance the other way for the Terriers. Connolly leading it. Hands off to Coyle. Back to Connolly to Pereira. One-time shot. Rebound. Score! Charlie Coyle on the rebound. Bangs it home. His second of the game. 5-3 Terriers. A 3-on-2 work to perfection.
And that all gets set up because Joe Pereira went so hard right at the net. Took the two defenders with him and opened up the backside. Pereira able to get in on the near side to try and create something, and he couldn't get a hold of it, but he put it in, laid it on the doorstep, and Charlie Coyle banged it home for his second goal of the game.
That's a goal scorer right there, folks. Charlie Coyle, he made the initial pass off to Connolly and then did not charge the net. He made sure he was in position if a puck popped free, that he was going to be there to knock it home. He was there, doesn't miss it. 2 goals in his Terriers debut for Charlie Coyle. Gotta like what they're seeing from him so far.
A great job of recognizing who he's playing with. You know the kind of game that Joe Pereira plays. He's going hard at the net to create something, and he did there. And Coyle was the benefactor of a great play from the senior captain.
And Gaudette was the benefactor of a tough pass from David Warsawski. Hit hard there in the slot by the Toronto defense. Gaudette trying to get a quick shot off, but he was eliminated before that opportunity came about. But the puck bounces in on Grant Rolheiser. 6:48 to play, 5-3. Terriers lead it now as Charlie Coyle knocks home the loose puck rebound. Martin has had some trouble. He's been around his crease all evening. He just seems like that sometimes when he slides, he just keeps going. He doesn't stop himself.
Yeah, Martin looks a lot like a goalie we may see next week. Brett Bennett, very animated, a lot of movement, not like a Kieran Milan, who tends to be very one movement and one smooth movement. But Martin having some problems dealing with this BU offense right now.
Puck swung into the far corner of the BU defensive zone, but BU picks it up. Clendenning using the net as protection, holding on. His pass flubbed again. BU's having some trouble making some passes tonight, but it hasn't hurt him yet. Megan in onside, drops back to Gilroy. Quick shot on. Martin with the save. The rebound is poked free. Back out to center ice for Escobedo.
And you make a great point. They are having some trouble with passes, and that may not hurt you against a less talented team like the Varsity Blues, but it will hurt you against a team like BC or UNH.
Another bad pass springs Kay in onside for Toronto. He's denied, but he gets it right back. Kay looking. His pass knocked away. Good back check there. Believe it was Escobedo coming back to lift the stick up just enough. Now through center ice, Gilroy slashed twice as he tried to gain the zone. Finally enough to knock the puck off his stick and then force himself offsides. 5:52 to play.
And Charlie Coyle has looked so impressive. You have to think that he's going to be centering one of the top 2 lines. You assume that when Corey Trevino comes back, he'll be centering that first line, and I'd expect Chiasson to be there with him. So you start to wonder who is going to be on that line with Coyle. But this line as is has looked really good so far.
BU wins the draw, now dumps it into the near corner. Good cross corner dump by the Terriers. Sahir Gill has been showing some great speed, getting to those pucks first. Pass in front, Courtnall getting a shot, rebound save. The rebound can't be knocked home though. That looks like number 20 for the Terriers. Matt Ronan, who has joined BU here in this second period. So Ronan has jumped up onto that 4th line with Gill and Courtnall. Ronan not on the initial roster.
It looks like they're just going to rotate all the players just to give Coach Parker a look at each and every one of his guys, start to see not only the individual skills, but how they fit in as a team. And as you mentioned, Sahir Gill has looked pretty good. Courtnall's had a couple good shifts. Gaudette continues to have success. So some of the guys on the lower lines putting things together, and if you're a young team, that's what you want to have above all else is depth. You want to have a bunch of guys that you can go to score.
Power play BU. Don't know what the penalty was, but it was a penalty. So a power play for the Terriers. Warsawski has it. Down low to Coyle. Coyle into the slot, knocked away from Clendenning. It comes free to Connolly. along the near half boards. Atop the right circle, down low to Coyle. Coyle on front to Pereira. Quick shot on. Martin makes the save. He can't control the rebound. It's still free. It comes to Warsawski. Quickly to Connolly. One-time shot blocked away. Nice block there by Turcotte. Connolly has it again, walking to the middle. Hands off to Warsawski, winding and shooting. Blocked again by Turcotte. It comes to Pereira now, in behind the net. 1:15 to go on the power play. Clendenning has it up top. Clendenning into the right circle, still looking on top. Warsawski, quick shot saved by Martin. He has the puck, no rebound, and a whistle with 4:38 to play. And again, it's Joe Pereira right in the middle of things out in front.
And the Terrier faithful, you're not going to be surprised by that. Joe Pereira just has a way of getting in the thick of things. That penalty update, it was a holding penalty on Matt Walters. I sent him into the box, so the Terriers in 53 seconds of power play still looking very dangerous, and it looks like we're going to have another couple of guys go off, and Joe Pereira's going to go into the box. He's going to take a seat. And for the Terriers, it's just what you've come to expect from Joey the Bulldog Pereira. Just gives you a ton of energy and effort. Sometimes it's a little misplaced, but you love his game because he brings so much energy to the table. And, not the most talented guy at the ice, but you're always going to get 150% from him, and he works hard and he makes a lot of good things happen.
Puck in front, knocked away by Toronto. Still a minute to go on the power play for BU, but Toronto intercepts and controls. Once again, they can't ice it on the penalty kill. Elliott will just slow things down, dump it in slowly into the BU zone. Turning there is Noonan. Nice job away from one check. Long pass up to Gill. Now cross ice. Beautiful pass in. That's Nieto with Gill and Megan. Escobedo across to Noonan. Near point. Noonan looking. Nice little saucer pass to Megan. He can't control. Puck still along the near boards. BU controls. Noonan runs into Nieto. It comes back in behind to Gill. Gill hands off to Nieto along the near half boards. On top for Noonan, back to Gill, right circle. Gill to Megan, walking in. Nice sliding job there by number 7, Zach Fenwick. Sends the puck all the way down. Icing called with 14 remaining on the power play. 3:45 in the period. Those penalties were Pereira and Turcotte for Toronto.
And you saw the Terriers had a couple players positioned to make a play, and they got it down low, looking to make that entry pass onto the doorstep. But Sahir Gill got knocked all out of position, just basically got put on his butt by the Toronto defenseman. And if you're a forward, that's not what you like to see if you're Coach Barker. You want to see your forward stand in there, take the hit, and really stay on his feet and make a play.
One-timer from Nicastro, turned away by Martin. And right now, folks, it's an anomaly. 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all on the ice for the Terriers. Noonan, Glass, Santana, and Gilroy all on the ice for BU. We just need a number 17 or a number 12 out there, and we'd be all set. Nicastro is the 5th Terrier as the power play comes to an end. 5-3 BU. 3:17 remains in the second period. 2 goals here in the second period for the Terriers. Terriers turn it over. Back to the blue line. Shot on, blocked by Nicastro. Looking for Gilroy, possibly for a breakaway pass, but it's knocked away back into the BU defensive zone by the Varsity Blues. Glass comes back to get it, hands it off to Nicastro, who flips a high, lofting puck through center ice. Picked up there by Toronto, eliminating a chance for a change by BU. Finally, it comes back to Noonan. He'll just dump it in and get checked into the Varsity Blues bench, but Connolly intercepts it. Connolly to Rosen, shot, score! Ben Rosen rips one top shelf over the shoulder. 6-3 Terriers. Turnover turns into a goal. What a shot there from Rosen.
And Rosen had all the time in the world. He winds up, he shoots, he fires, blasts one into the back of the net. A great shot there by Rosen. And as you mentioned, all set up by the turnover. And the Terriers continue to jump all over this Varsity Blues team. 6-3.
Little things in hockey. Dumping it in, forechecking, causing turnovers. Good pass from Connolly to a wide open Rosen. And Rosen, he scores his first goal as a Terrier, albeit an exhibition play. But now it's 6-3 BU, 3 second period goals, 2:42 remains. First goal of this period was scored by Santana, and then Coyle made it 5-3, and now it's Rosen. So these sophomores, it's going to be a young team.
And
BU, 17 of their 26 players are freshmen and sophomore, one of the youngest teams in the country this year.
And if you asked me which class is going to be most important to the success, of course the seniors, but the development of this sophomore class is going to be so important to how far this Terrier team can go because they have a lot of sophomores that have a lot of talent. You look at Alex Chiasson to start. He's a great player, going to be a great defensive forward for this team. Ben Rosen, a solid defenseman. Max Nicastro is going to be a power play defenseman for this team. So you have a lot of talent, a lot in the sophomores. Sean Scabito as well, Ryan Santana. They just have to develop, and you have to see it translate to the college game more this year.
And now Ventura and Courtnall getting into it on the other side of the face-off circle. You can't drop the gloves here in college, so Courtnall and Ventura will just go at it verbally as the puck is dumped into the BU zone. Going after it is Rosen in behind his own net. Spins away from a forechecker. Plays it up near boards for Ronan. Ronan hit hard. Penalty coming up. That's Ventura. Believe it's going to be a charging call. See what the referee whistles. It is going to be a charging. Ventura, he was out there. He was looking for somebody to hit. And now Courtnall going at with somebody else on the Toronto team. That's number 15, Jeff Zippel. Courtnall and Zippel jawing at each other now inside the Toronto zone.
And if you're Coach Parker, you don't like to see and if you're Justin Courtnall, rather, not at all what you want to do in this game. I know Courtnall's a fiery player. You know, he brings a lot of passion and energy to the table, and he's still jawing away. But you have to keep your poise. To lose your cool like this in an exhibition game is not at all the example that you want to see. And Courtnall's still going at it right now as the ref is trying to calm him down a little bit. But Courtnall, the guy's got a lot of energy and passion for the game, you could see, but you got to learn to channel it into the game and not the other player.
So no penalties given as Courtnall was just jawing at it with number 14 or 15, Jeff Zippel. Number 14, Kyle Ventura, goes off for a charging penalty. So BU has the power play with 2:24 remaining in the second period. So this game is really getting feisty. It'll be interesting to see how these Toronto players react in this third period.
Well, it'll also be interesting, I think, to see how the BU players react because, you know, to be honest, at times it's actually somewhat reminiscent of what Merrimack and Northeastern will do to you at times. They like to get under your skin, play very physical with you, and push you around a little bit. And how these BU players deal with it now could be a very telling sign of how they deal with those type of teams later on in the year.
Timeout for Toronto with 2:24 to play. A 2-minute power play coming up for BU. 6-3 the score. Recapping the scoring here in period number 2.
And as we mentioned, a lot of goal scoring here. 3 goals for the Terriers in this period. 1 goal for the Varsity Blues. The Blues get on the board first with Byron Elliott scored. And then the Terriers had 3 straight goals. Ryan Santana, Charlie Coyle, and then Ben Rosen. So a lot of scoring here continues to happen. As a very exciting game if you're a freshman or a new fan of Boston University hockey. This is a great way to start to see the Terriers come out and put a lot of goals on the board. When it comes to Hockey East play, defense is at a premium, so you may not see scores this high at times, but a very exciting game. We know the Terriers are loaded on offense. They have a lot of great talent that can do a lot of good things, a lot of varied skill sets, and a lot of good defensive forwards and guys that have heavy shots and can make good passes and do a lot of great things. But at times you don't get to see it because some of the defenses in Hockey East, Vermont, BC, are top-notch, some of the best in the country. And so the offensive skills on display tonight. It's a showcase here at Agganis Arena.
Once again, folks, looking at that schedule, and we thank you for tuning in at WTBUSportsRadio.com, as well as BU All Access this evening for Terriers hockey. 6-3 our score right now. BU opens up the season next week in St. Louis against Wisconsin, and then they either play Holy Cross or Notre Dame on Sunday. Power play for BU, back to play. Pass across the blue line, knocked away by Toronto, but Megan has it. He'll circle back in his own zone. Hampered there on the back by Michael Markovic. Good pressure there. Good forecheck from this penalty kill of Toronto all game long, really hindering BU's clearing attempt through center ice. Megan has the pass. He's into the zone onside. Megan at the blue line makes a nice play. Makes 2 Toronto players almost run into each other. Now to Castro on top. Megan one-timer saved by Martin. Rebound chance. Knocked away by Gilroy. Plays it back for Nieto. And then finally iced all the way down by Toronto. No icing, they're going to say. They're going to say icing. So 1:42 to play. Icing called, 119 on the power play.
Again, not the usual rule. Usually when you're on the power play, the team that's on the penalty kill, they can send the puck down the length of the ice without any penalty. However, since it is an exhibition game, it's changed so that if you do send it the length of the ice, it's an icing now. So definitely changing the way this Toronto Blues team plays a little bit.
Now the top unit back out there. Clendening at the far point has it, curling away from a check, plays it down low to Charlie Coyle. Out with Pereira and Connolly. Warsowski and Clendening on the point. Coyle walking in, far circle shot on save by Martin, no rebound. Very quick shot, a very hard shot there from Charlie Coyle. Good to see these freshmen get on the ice. Really, folks, they've only had one official day of practice. That was yesterday, so they're just getting to know each other, and these lines will definitely be different once the season starts to progress. You get Corey Trevino and Alex Chiasson back once they come back from the icebreaker, and they host University of Massachusetts in their home opener on Saturday the 16th. That'll be a big game, big Hockey East game. 2 big games next week in the icebreaker. Puck along the far half boards, kept in momentarily by Clendening, but now controlled by Toronto. Played back out through center ice for Warsowski to control in his own zone. His pass off of a Toronto player, jackknife to the blue line, but Connolly picks it up and spins back below the circle. 1 minute to play in the period, 37 seconds to go on the power play. Connolly to Coyle, to Clendening, back to Coyle, looking for the hat trick, deflects it just wide. And it's picked up and cleared out by Elliott through center ice for Warsowski. Warsowski having trouble, picks up the rolling puck, hands off to Connolly. Connolly up the far boards for Clendening. Clendening, a Kevin Shattenkirk type offensive defenseman. As the puck comes free to center ice, good battle along the boards. Taken down is Connolly, and a penalty called against Toronto. So it'll be a 5-on-3 for 11 seconds.
And that's the example that you have to set if you're Connolly. A good job there of not reacting to the penalty. And Connolly got absolutely upended, a big hit there. But Connolly just wisely just walks away from the play. You know the whistle's going to get blown, so let you take the action out on the ice as opposed to really going after a guy in an exhibition game. So the Terriers jump on. We'll have a 5-on-3 for a couple seconds here.
Penalty is on Byron Elliott. He has a goal and an assist this evening for University of Toronto. Both teams scored 3 goals in the first period.
Interesting now, all freshmen or sophomores on, relatively untested guys. Nick Castro, Megan, Gill.
30 seconds to play.
A couple others, all relatively new guys to the BU hockey team.
Megan below the right circle. 5-on-4 now. The first power play ends. Pass to the far circle, deflected but controlled by Noonan. Noonan looking in behind. 17 seconds. Quick pass in front. Deflects up into the netting. Face-off will stay inside the zone to the left of Martin. Yep, that's Nicastro, Noonan, Megan, Gill, and Nieto. So that's 5 underclassmen.
And you can see Coach Babus was explicitly calling for Warsowski to get off the ice and let these young guys have a crack at it to see who can really play on the power play, who can make some good things happen. So right now, if you're the coaches, you're looking to see not necessarily who scores or finishes, but who creates a play that really jump-starts this power play.
14 seconds to play in the period. Power play for BU. Face-off won by Toronto, and they'll clear out to center ice. That should do it for the period. Back to get it is Nicastro. Nicastro will swoop in behind his own net, turn away from a hit. He gets hit. Good forecheck again by Toronto, but that should end the period. The buzzer sounds. And that'll do it for 2 periods of play here at Agganis Arena. 6-3, the Terriers dominating in that second period. They scored 3 goals. They outshoot the University of Toronto by a lot. University of Toronto just musters 3 shots total in that second period, but 2 of them were point-blank shots that Grant Rolheiser turned away in his first minutes of action. We head to the third, 6-3 the score, and Brian, those underclassmen, 17 of the 26 players on this roster, you can only say they're young for so long. Eventually, they have to become veterans on this team, and a good start tonight.
Well, unfortunately, they're going to get thrown right into the fire. Not much time for a learning curve with some of these guys. And when we've talked to Coach Parker about a learning curve in the past, he's mentioned that it does vary at times. It takes some guys longer than others. A great example is, Vinny Saponari, Colin Wilson, those type of guys stepped in and contributed immediately, as opposed to a guy like Corey Trevino. It took him a little bit longer to really get acclimated to the college game and understand it. So for a lot of these freshmen, especially you look at a guy like Yassine Cisse, Charlie Coyle, Clendenning, not going to have much room for a learning curve, but they're going to be expected to contribute immediately, and you could see for the most part they're up to the task. At times, Clendenning has struggled to move the puck a little bit, but when he's been on, he's doing a great job of connecting passes. Cisse looks like a big body that's going to be ready to contribute offensively and do a lot of great things. And what haven't we said about Charlie Coyle tonight? The center comes out and has 2 goals already, and more importantly, is creating a lot of plays and really moving this Terrier team around and getting them jump-started offensively. And out of one of your top forwards, that's all you can ask for.
After 2 periods of play, it's 6-3 BU. 3 second period goals. Ryan Santana from Nieto and Wade Megan. That started the scoring here in the second period. Charlie Coyle, his second of the game from Chris Connolly, made it 5-3. And then capping the scoring here in period number 2, Ben Rosen from Chris Connolly and Garrett Noonan. Good night so far for Connolly. Good night for the Terriers. It's 6-3 here after 2 periods of play. We'll take a quick break, and after the break, we'll have, once again, Greg Picker and Paul Ryan for your second period intermission report here. Once again, WTBUSportsRadio.com. Thanks you for listening in tonight, as well as BU All Access. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Boston University Men's Ice Hockey, WTBU Sports.
It comes back to the Castro. Shot, score! Max DeCastro, first career goal. The slapper from the point somehow gets through in by Brathwaite. Plays it behind the net. A turnover. Pereira scores! Joe Pereira! Turnover, and Pereira knocks it home. His place is going insane.
As again, it's the real.
You're listening to Boston University Men's Ice Hockey on WTBU Sports.
Back to Colby Cohen, one time shot, score! Kanata didn't even see it. Colby Cohen scores.
That's the mill. Wastowski shot, goal! David Wastowski puts the Terriers on top.
Back the other way, Wahlberg, a quick shot and a save by Milan. In for BU, Benito has it, Benito, the Connolly scores! Connolly rips it home, it's 3-0 Terriers.
You're listening to Boston University Men's Ice Hockey on WTBU Sports.
Welcome back here to Agganis Arena. Greg Picker alongside Paul Ryan for the second intermission report. Terriers played a lot better that period. Came out of the second period with a 6-3 lead, and not only did they outscore the Varsity Blues by 3 in that period, but the shot total was just an unbelievable 22-3 in that second period, leading to a total of 35-14 for the game so far. But we'll take it goal by goal here from that second period, and Ryan Santana, after a slow start for the Terriers in the second period, or a slow start for both teams really in the second period, Ryan Santana got BU on the board with a goal at 10-11 of the second period from Matt Nieto and Wade Megan. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, it was just Megan throwing it behind to Nieto, who was about a little behind the net. He was more to the left side. Found Santana right in front of the net. A great look from Nieto. Nieto has his head up all the way. That's something you love to see from a freshman. Nieto always knows where his surroundings are. Gets that puck out to Santana, just found between the legs. As we said in the first intermission report, Santana's really improved on last year. I think he can contribute maybe 10, 15 goals for this team, which would be huge.
And after that, just a couple minutes later, at 12:43 of the second period, Charlie Coyle got on the board again, and again from Chris Connolly. Chris Connolly is having himself a heck of a game, and he gets on the score sheet again there.
Yeah, it was a great play. It looked like a Connolly pass intended for Pereira, just kind of missed connection, and it looked like nobody saw where the puck was. It was just kind of sitting in the crease there, and Coyle obviously knew where it was, just tapped it right home. Great play by Charlie Coyle, who's really looked, he's looked secure out there. He's looked like he's played with these guys for a couple of years. You got a junior and a senior out there in Connolly and Pereira respectively, and really Coyle's fitting right in. As we were talking with fellow beat reporter Chris Aliano during the play, he said, Coyle could be a center, he could be a winger. He could put Coyle anywhere. Corey Trevino might be the first line center during the year. You could really have Charlie Coyle out there as the first line center. He looks great. I think he looked great at center. He looked great on the wing. Anywhere you want Coyle, I think he'll play there.
Yeah, on that goal, Charlie Coyle led the rush on the 3-on-2, connected over with Chris Connolly. Chris Connolly, like I said, tried to get it to Pereira. Pereira was tied up. It was an okay play by the defender for Toronto there, but by tying up Pereira, that left Coyle all alone, and when the goalie couldn't find the puck, it was just an easy tap-in for Coyle. Coyle coming from the EJHL, with South Shore of the EJHL at Junior League here in New England. It's quite the jump coming into the NCAA, and he looks like he's fitting in perfectly here with that first line.
I had a couple of friends who played in the EJHL. It's not great competition, and it's surprising to see him just jump into it so smoothly. I mean, usually you'll see kind of a shaky start, but Coyle looks right at home. Really, I mean, the EJHL is good competition, but it's nowhere close. It's, I would say, maybe prep hockey level, maybe even a little lower. I don't necessarily know, but I mean, Coyle's making the transition very smoothly. I mean, he looks fantastic out there.
Yeah, a lot of these guys come from the USHL, or the U.S. National Development Program, which is where Matt Nieto and Adam Clendening came from, the possible 2011 first-round picks for the Terriers. Coyle, of course, like we've said multiple times, first-round pick of the San Jose Sharks this past year, 28th overall. So coming from the EJHL, a huge jump. And now for the final goal of the period at 17-18, Ben Rosen took the pass from Chris Connolly. Chris Connolly finding himself on the score sheet yet again.
As you said, Greg, Connolly just had his head up the whole time, pulled up about 5-10 feet after he hit the blue line, looked, checked his surroundings, thought he was going to shoot, but then saw, it was a 2-on-2, saw Rosen trailing the play, just put it in a spot where Rosen could skate right into it, and Rosen had all the time in the world to shoot, and he did not miss. Just a gorgeous shot off the post and in over the blocker of the goaltender Martin. So Ben Rosen stating his case for a sixth defenseman maybe on this team. We were kind of skeptical of his first period. He looked a lot better out there. His defense partner, Patrick McGregor, he looks like one of those freshmen who's kind of having a little bit of trouble adjusting to this college game. He tried to make a step up early in that period. He tried to step up on the forward, let the guy get right around him. So, I mean, when you step up, you got to make sure that you got the guy in front of you and he's not going to get by you. The guy just chipped the puck right around him. So, I mean, you'll learn that with time, especially in this college game. Kids are faster, and especially when you play Hockey East opponents rather than, I don't want to say inferior Canadian opponents, but, I mean, kind of are. So, but, I mean, you're going to learn with time. So, I mean, this is a learning experience. That's what the preseason is all about. So McGregor learned. And Rosen and McGregor, I think they were -2 in that first period, looked a lot better in that second period.
McGregor coming from Avon Old Farms Academy, of course, the former home of Nick Bonino, who now, after 3 years with the Terriers, is in the NHL, or I guess he was just recently sent down to the AHL, but he finished up the 2010 season with the Anaheim Ducks. Ben Rosen with the goal. He didn't have any points in his 9 games last year, but definitely stating a case, making up possibly for that giveaway that led to one of the Varsity Blues goals in the first period. Now, at the 10-minute mark, I guess it was 10-11, right after that Ryan Santana goal, we saw Adam Krause come out of the game. Grant Rolheiser was put in at. He played the last 10 minutes of that period. We'll see him again for the rest of the game for the final period. He wasn't really tested too much, but anything you could say about him?
Not really. I mean, he didn't really face too much. He made a couple nice saves. I mean, I think the first chances he had were about 6 minutes left in the period. Had a couple nice saves. You know, and I think the third save he had, he kicked out a big rebound. So that's something you don't necessarily like to see, but he also kicked into a space where nobody was. I mean, if somebody was there, they could have put home an easy rebound. Maybe he knew there was nobody there, he just kicked it out. Otherwise, I thought he played well. I mean, there's not much you could say. I mean, Krause faced 11 shots in that first period, and Rolheiser faced 3. So, I mean, nothing really you can say about Rolheiser. Hopefully he gets a little more of a test in this third period. Hopefully Parker gets a better look at who's going to be a second goaltender. But, I mean, the Terriers, obviously, their defense would love to not have to worry about any more shots. The defense, I mean, that's one of the underrated things about when you hear 22-3, you think, oh, the offense is dominating the game. But the defense really did a nice job of, 1, breaking out quickly, and 2, not letting the Varsity Blues gain entry into their zone.
Yeah, you were hard-pressed to see the puck in the Terrier end that entire second period, which, of course, was evidenced by the 3 shots on goal. Towards the end of that second period, it got pretty chippy.
Yeah, it really did. It looked like Toronto was just trying they kind of said, we're not going to win the game. We might as well win in some other department, maybe penalty minutes or, you can't really fight. I don't know if you could fight in college hockey in Canada.
I'm not sure about the Canadian rules, but in the NCAA, you'd never see it really.
The only thing I thought of was maybe because you got the visors on, you always see in junior hockey, they just take off the helmets and fight each other. Maybe they thought you could fight. They didn't know about the rule with the icing on the penalty kill, so maybe they didn't know about the no fighting rule. But it looked like Justin Courtnall in one of the, I believe it was Zipper, is the name? Zippel was the name. It looked like they were going to go at one point, both of them exchanging words. But, Toronto decided once they fell down 5-3, 6-3, they kind of said, we're not going to win this game. We're just going to try and, see what we could do. Maybe you saw a couple slashes there. You saw a charging penalty there as one of the players went after Ronan, and it looked like he almost left his feet. So you don't want to see it get too chippy. The refs are doing a good job of keeping the players away from each other after the whistle. We saw Pereira and a varsity Blues player get taken away after the whistle. So really, it's just the refs doing a good job and the Toronto coach doing a good job calling a timeout, telling his players, you know what, calm down. You can't be doing this. You can't be getting the other team angry. You can't be just riling everyone up. You got to play hockey. You got to prove that, the CIS is actually a good hockey league, and you got to prove that you can compete with an NCAA team like St. Francis Xavier did last year.
And it was 5 penalties for Toronto that last period, just 1 for BU. 3 of those Toronto penalties are ones that aren't of the usual kind, but do show those frustration kind. The first was a Tyler Tucote hitting after the whistle, matching penalty with Joe Pereira. So the amount of guys on the ice didn't change as a result of that whistle, or of that penalty. The 2 of them were just going at it a little bit in front of the net following a whistle on a Terrier power play. And then Kyle Ventura, 2 minutes for charging at 17:36. He really took down Matt Ronan, and Ronan stood up, or his teammates stood up for him following that penalty against Ventura. And then with just 35 seconds to go in the period, Byron Elliott was called 2 minutes for roughing.
Yeah, so the Terriers will start this third period on a power play, and that first power play unit has looked great for the Terriers. It's the first line of Coyle, centering, Connolly, and Pereira. And Joe Pereira's actually shown strides this year. Last year was kind of a third-line bruiser. He was just kind of someone who went out there and hit everyone he could. So, really, that first power play unit looks great, and Clendenning looks great back there with Warzowski. So that could be the first pairing on defense of Warzowski and Clendenning. And then the second power play unit has been Nieto, Megan, and whoever Coach Bavis wants to throw out there. Sahir Gill was finishing the period. So, second power play unit looks pretty good. First power play unit looks amazing. So we'll probably see them. They'll probably stay together even when Corey Trevino and Alex Chason come back.
Yeah, and that really has been by far the Terriers' strength today, has been just those first lines, both at forward and at defense. Warsofsky and Clendenning look great together. Chris Connolly, Charlie Coyle, and Joe Pereira also look great on the first line, both just even strength and on the power play. So 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the second intermission. We will take another commercial break, and then Tristan Hobbs and Brian Levine will have the call of the third period.
The Boston University men's ice hockey on WTVU Sports.
Back to Colby Cohen, one-time shot, score! Kanata didn't even see it. Colby Cohen scores.
That's the middle. Warsowski shot, goal! David Warsowski puts the Terriers on top.
Back the other way, Wahlberg, a quick shot and a save by Milan. In for BU, Benito has it, Benito, to Kylie, scores! Kylie rips it home, it's 3-0 Terriers.
Welcome back to Agganis Arena. Tristan Hobbs, Brian Levine with you. Thank you very much. Greg Picker, Paul Ryan, our second intermission report, also our first intermission report, and our pregame show. They are 2/3 of our beat writing corps for the season. Chris Aliano back for his second year behind the keyboard. You'll be hearing from Chris as the season progresses. You'll be hearing from all of us as the season progresses. WTVUSportsRadio.com, all your coverage of BU men's hockey and all the other sports here at Boston University. We're right in the middle of the fall season. Women's soccer on the air tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock, a big showdown with Stony Brook, a rematch of last year's semifinal game between the Terriers and the Seawolves. And speaking of soccer, the men's team also in action tonight. They're down in Stony Brook. That's a big game as well for the men's team. Checking the game tracker stats. Let's see how the men's team stands right here
and it was
against
the
Stony Brook.
Terriers' first game of conference play. They played Hartford earlier in the season, but it was labeled as a non-conference game. They did win that game 3-0, so they had looked pretty good in conference play coming up to this point. And the Terriers continuing to have success here. 2-0 the score with about 8 minutes remaining. Ben Barabee and Aaron O'Neill have lit the lamp for the Terriers in that game. So trying to get off conference play on the right foot. Stony Brook undefeated in their last 6 contests, so a good job playing a good Stony Brook team very well so far.
We're set for period number 3, the opening faceoff. BU still on the power play. 1:18 to go on the man advantage as Toronto sends it down the length of the ice for icing. So 1:16 to go. So O'Neill in the 59th minute, Barabee in the 68th. Barabee 4 goals in 3 games. The women's hockey team was out in North Dakota today, their first game of the season. That's a real game. They lost 5-4 to North Dakota. Tough loss to start the year for the women's team that was ranked 4th and 6th in 2 preseason national rankings. They're expected to have a fantastic season. Off to an 0-1 start. They're back at it again tomorrow in North Dakota, their second game of the season. BU wins the draw along the near boards. In the offensive zone, puck comes to the point. Clendenning, nice job keeping it into Charlie Coyle. Coyle high along the boards, plays it back down low for Pereira. Pereira will throw it back in behind. Coyle going after it, pokes it along to Connolly. 56 seconds to go on the power play. Warsawski has it at the blue line, and the puck comes out of the zone. Warsawski, one extra stick handle, and the puck just comes across the blue line. 19:26 to go in the third. 6-3, 35-14. The shots on goal. BU dominating. In that second period, Toronto attempted just 6 shots. BU 31. Toronto hit the net 3 times. BU hit the net 22 times in that second period. A dominating period for the Terriers. They win the draw at center ice, and Clendenning throws it in. Gets hit up high along the near boards. He seems to be okay. 40 seconds to go. Warsawski has it atop to Clendenning. Quick pass to Connolly off his skate. Just a little bit behind him, and Toronto controls, and they'll move out through center ice. Short-handed chance. The puck deflected high up off the netting. Top of the netting and back down behind Rollheiser. Face off with 19:02 to play.
And Clendenning's got to take that shot. You can see his head was turned. He wasn't looking to take the shot or see what was going on. As you hear the Terrier faithful erupt because they see that Notre Dame is beating Boston College in football right now. But Clendenning had the shooting lane wide open. Just his head wasn't turned to the goal. He didn't even look at it. Just was thinking pass all the way. So Coach Parker has got to get him ready to take the shot at times, especially if you're going to play with David Warsawski.
Escobedo takes the puck from behind his own net up through center ice. He joins the rush. Nieto hands off to Megan, turning at the left circle. Megan, stick checked, still has the puck. He's hit from behind, no penalty coming. It comes back down to Megan, turned back around to Nieto. Nieto hit hard, but he plays it off to Gilroy. Now Escobedo, his shot blocked. The power play is over for Toronto. In the far corner, it's Nieto, knocked to the ice. Megan going over, penalty coming, is going to be against Toronto, a tripping call. That might be a weak one. No, a hook called against Toronto. A little lenient there was the referee. 18:29 to play, so BU will go right back on the power play.
And a great opportunity here for some of the guys on the third and fourth lines, the lower lines, to make themselves known. You can see Ryan Rika getting a lot of time now. He's listed on the fourth defensive pairing, So a good chance here for some of the guys who might not get as much time, who didn't dress every single game last year, to really make themselves known. You can see Kevin Gilroy among others on the ice right now.
Escobedo at the point, quick shot on, deflects wide. Oh, Martin to the far corner for Megan to pick it up there. Megan loses the puck. It's cleared out to center ice. Escobedo has possession. He'll play it off to his partner, Ryan Rika. Rika trying to come back from surgery, or from 2 knee injuries the last 2 years. Megan turning atop the circle. Loses the puck, holds up his man. He's going to go off for, I believe it's going to be interference.
And
that's going to be called every time.
And a bad play by Megan. Megan, you got to keep moving the puck, especially when you're on the power play. As he was trying to do too much with it, as a result, gets it taken away and trying to make something out of nothing. You make something, but you make a bad play, and It'll nullify the power play and put the Terriers on 4-on-4 and then on the penalty kill for 28 seconds.
Yeah, Megan lost the puck, gaining the zone, and then put his arms right across the body of the Toronto player. Easy call for the referee. 4-on-4 hockey for 1:32 as Chris Connolly goes straight ahead with the face-off.
And too often you see a player.
Clock hasn't started yet. Still at 18:01.
As they wait for the clock to start here, too often you see a player, try to make too much happen on the offensive end, then try to make too much happen on the defensive end. Some of the smarter players on this team know better than that, but a bad play there.
So 4-on-4 hockey. Behind his own net, it's Noonan up the near side boards off the glass. Connolly has it at center ice. He'll regroup back into his own zone for Nicastro. Connolly out there with Pereira. Noonan and Nicastro are the defensive pairing. Nicastro up through center ice to Noonan. Across the blue line onside, drops it back to Pereira. Left circle, quick shot on. Martin turns it away behind the net. Pereira picks up his own rebound, turns away from one check. Two Toronto players in there. They win the puck away from Joe Pereira. And now turning, Toronto turns the puck over. Trying to be too fancy there was Zippel. Pereira and Connolly win the puck away. Pass behind to Pereira. Hops over his stick, but comes to Noonan on the far boards. Pass across the blue line, too high for Nicastro to handle. And a long stretch pass for Toronto. Too far, a diving Teach. Can't get a touch on it. Icing called against the Varsity Blues. 17:01 to play in the game. 32 seconds remaining on the 4-on-4.
And for the Terriers, they continue to put some of the other guys trying out different combinations here. You see Coyle with Clendenning and Warsawski alongside Santana. So one of their 4-on-4 units, you saw Pereira was out there earlier. We expect he'll be on the 4-on-4 unit as a big energy guy. And Warsawski, you've got to watch out for him. 4 shorthanded goals last year, was tied for the league-leading league.
Back to Warsawski, quick shot on, blocked away before it got to the net. Coyle, Santana, Warsawski, and Clendenning. Different look for the Terriers, 4-on-4. Coyle walking out of the near corner, has Warsawski up top, one-time shot saved by Martin. Rebound comes to Coyle in the left circle. 10 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Another one-timer for Warsawski, turned away by Martin. The rebound pokes free. It's free, but the whistle blows. The referee lost sight of it with 5 seconds to go in 4-on-4 action. Warsawski just teeing him up from the blue line on those one-timers. Good passes from Charlie Coyle, perfectly into the feet of Warsawski for the one-timer. Good saves by Martin. He'll turn away those every day. Nobody in front. Easy shot to stop.
And the ref blew the whistle a little prematurely, and the fans were upset, rightfully so. Martin did not have his glove on the puck. The puck was bouncing around there, so it was still in front, and someone still had a chance at it, but the ref blows the whistle, and that stops the play dead.
Coyle wins the faceoff back easily. Warsawski walking into a shot. It goes just wide. The light went on partially. Don't know what that was about. As Coyle turning along the far half boards. The power play for Toronto. Coyle turning away. He's muscled off the puck. Santana tries to get right back to him, but it's taken away by Toronto. A player changing. That forces the turnover for the Varsity Blues, and now Warsawski will dump it softly to the far side boards and in behind the Toronto net. 5 seconds to go on the Toronto power play. 16 minutes to play in the period. Power play is over for Toronto. They're 2 for 3 now with the man advantage. They gain the offensive zone. Pass comes all the way across to the near boards. Coming over is Gilroy. He'll pick it up and turn it back behind his own net for Escobedo. Up the far boards, played off the boards for Gill. Gill onside with Glass. To Gilroy, one-time shot might have hit Gill, or might have hit Glass on that one-time attempt from Gilroy. And now Gilroy has it again through the slot to Glass. One-time shot saved by Martin. Going to be a penalty coming up against Toronto. Escobedo has it at the point, hands off to Sahir Gill. Down low, back on top now for Coyle. Coyle turning at the blue line, delayed penalty. Grolheiser out to Gilroy in the slot. He can't get a shot off, and finally the whistle blows. A penalty against Toronto. A great chance for Glass in front, but he can't capitalize. A nice save from Martin.
Yeah, Glass looked like he had trouble locating it once it started bouncing around in front. And still trying to get on it. The Varsity Blues had to take the penalty there to slow him down. And as a result, the Terriers go back on the power play. A power play that has gained steam as the game has gone on. A couple of goals tonight, and the way this well-oiled machine has been running, you expect they might be able to put another one on.
Power play for BU. Megan, Nieto, and Gill up front for the Terriers. Gill intercepts the puck behind the net, plays it back to Nicastro. He's out there with Noonan. Noonan winding up, saved by Martin. The rebound comes all the way back to the blue line. Picked up there by Nicastro. Now Noonan has it center point. Left circle for Nicastro, walking back on top to Megan, far circle. On top, Noonan has a good shot to Nicastro, left circle, quick pass across the crease. Good stick there from Toronto. That puck's deflected up into the netting, face off to the left of Martin with 14:53 to play.
And you could see the difference in defensemen between Nicastro as opposed to defensemen like Colby Cohen or Kevin Shattenkirk. Nicastro received the puck on the left side, by the left face-off circle, just outside of it, and had space to go in and take it if he wanted it. At times last season, we saw Shattenkirk take that puck right to the net and try to create a short pass, or if you're Colby Cohen, put that shot on net. Instead, Nicastro trying to connect on the long pass, sends the puck out of play, and all of a sudden it goes back out of the zone.
Toronto able to get the puck all the way up ice. Long pass for Gill, the stretch pass. He tips it into the corner, knocks the puck down partially along the far boards. Noonan steps in with a big hit, and BU keeps the puck in the zone. Handing it off, Nieto to Megan, now on top for Noonan. Noonan across the ice to Megan, on top, Nicastro, one-timer, goes wide. That was a rocket of a shot from Nicastro. It bounces off the backboards and all the way back out in front where Toronto controls, and too hard of a dump. That'll go for an icing. These players, I'm sure, are still getting used to this ruling. I don't like it.
Well, you say they're trying to get used to this ruling. I don't know that they're trying even to get used to the ruling because it is such a unusual rule to say the least. Like, for lack of a better term, just not the norm for all of these players. So you want them to be mindful of it, but at the same time, you want them to just do what they do and, dump it if they have to.
Coyle wins the draw easily back to Warsawski. Warsawski right circle. Clendenning trying to backdoor pass for Coyle, but it's blocked away. Clendenning has it in the far corner, walking out on top now, Warsawski. Plays catch with Clendenning. Clendenning to Connolly, center point. They'll switch. Back to Clendenning. Quick shot on net, deflected. Martin makes the save, no rebound, and again, Joe Pereira right in front of Martin atop that crease, and he is going to be there all season long. He is going to be a thorn in a lot of Hockey East team sides.
And just a quick update, we mentioned that Charlie Coyle doing a great job of winning faceoffs. Yes, it's not against Hockey East talent, but Charlie Coyle on the night, 12-5 on faceoffs. And Tristan, I can't remember a player that had that much success on the faceoff for this Terrier team.
Coyle wins it again, back to Clendenning. 32 to go on the power play, 13:45 in the period. Warsawski walks center point, plays it down low. Quick pass across the top of the crease, deflected. A high wafting puck kept in by Clendenning. He turns away from one check, plays it back post for Connolly in the right circle. Quickly on top to Warsawski. He'll wing it around the boards for Coyle. Coyle working there with Pereira, plays it back on top. Clendenning looking for the shot down low. Connolly score! Chris Connolly, great vision. Clendenning. It's 7-3. Power play goal for the Terriers.
Oh, great patience from Clendenning. What a fantastic play. Held on the shot. Didn't take it, and at times we've said take the shot, not that time, as he waits and threads the needle. You can't do it nicer than that. A beautiful pass. Connolly's on the doorstep, and he bangs it home. And this Terrier team, this first line has looked fantastic all night.
Beautiful, beautiful vision there from Clendenning. Connolly, perfect position, a perfect redirect into the back of the net. That's number 2 for him on the evening. He's having himself a nice evening. I think that's 4 points for Connolly. 2 goals, 2 assists. Power play goal for the Terriers makes it 7-3. 5th point of the game for Connolly. 2 goals, 3 assists for Chris Connolly. Play along the far side boards. Ryan Santana gets it out to center ice. Gets around a check along the far wing boards. Santana, he'll go in behind the net. He's out there with Glass and Courtnall. His pass deflects to the blue line, and Toronto clears through center ice. Going to be an offside, delayed offside. As Escobedo plays it out to center ice, Glass avoids a hit from Zippel and turns the puck over. Toronto trails 7-3. They gain the red line. They can't get it deep, however. It's a bouncing puck into the BU zone. Courtnall can't control. It's along the near boards right in front of the BU bench. It comes back to Escobedo in his own zone. Quick outlet pass. Nice 1-2 pass. Now Courtnall into the zone. Courtnall fakes a shot. Turns at the near hash marks. Courtnall, double team, gets the puck away. Now to Ronan. Ronan still has it. Turning in the far circle. Ronan looking in behind the net. Ronan still pass out front. Rosen stepping in. He can't get to it. And Ronan is down on the ice behind the net. A battle going on there. The puck comes back to Reicha. Reicha sends it down low for Glass. 12 minutes to play in the period. And now a whistle. Don't know what the whistle was for with 12:01 to play.
And just a quick note, we haven't seen much of Yacine Cisse in this third period. We'll keep an eye out for him, but trying to find him on the bench. Don't even see him on the bench, so wonder if they're limiting his minutes. Cisse coming off of an injury in which he tore it.
It was an ankle injury.
It was an ankle injury. It looked like the reports are mixed, but the general consensus is that he tore a tendon when it was cut by a skate. And that while that was a while ago, it was unsure if he was going to come to BU this year or next year. He ended up reporting this year. And so I wonder if they're just limiting his minutes to have him ready for the regular season.
Yeah, I don't see him on the bench either, so that might have been the change they made to let Ronan come into this game. As Toronto gains the blue line, but it's stopped right there by Rika. Puck comes back into the Varsity Blues zone. Back through center ice. Elliott can't control the puck there. Good pressure from Gilroy, but the puck is forced back out to center ice for Rika to control at the red line. Across to Noonan. Noonan will throw it in, knocked down there, and cleared back to the blue line and out to center ice. Good defensive play there by Fenwick. Pass across goes right by Rika. Rika hit from behind, but gets the puck around in their boards. Now to Rosen. Rosen, a quick touch pass, knocked away, but Gilroy steals it back. And now a 2-on-2 the other way. Rosen joining to make it a 3-on-2. Gilroy to the left circle, back to Ronan. Ronan can't get a shot off. It goes to the far corner. Puck back on top. Nicastro, a quick shot on, turned away by Martin. After it is Noonan. Noonan plays it to Rosen, back to Noonan. Noonan walking out of the corner, quick shot. Martin makes the save, and he'll control the rebound and cover up. And wondering if we're going to see Rosen up at forward here later in this third period. It looked like he was up at forward in that shift. 11:02 to play.
Yeah, and it looked like he also looked a little out of position as well as the Terriers were coming down quick. Rosen set himself up right on the doorstep, but that's where Noonan was trying to come with the puck. So a little bit of a collision there, and as a result, the puck got dislodged from Noonan as he was trying to make a play. So Rosen maybe jumping up into the offensive play as a forward, but looking a little lost up there.
Megan, Nieto, and Gill. The front three for BU. Warsofsky and Nicastro at the point. Toronto comes away with the puck through center ice. 3-on-2 for Toronto if they hurry. Into the zone, shot on. Rollheiser has the glove on it, cannot control it. Penalty coming up against the Terriers. Going to be either a hold or a hook. A high stick against BU.
Yeah.
So Toronto will go on the power play.
Looked like it was on Nicastro. He went to try and hold up the defender and just got his stick up way too high. And usually when you see the stick fly out of a guy's hands like that, you can assume it was high sticking because he had his hands up way too high, and as a result the stick not in a good position, so it got dislodged from the body. And as a result, Nicastro going in the box for high sticking will put the Terriers on the penalty kill.
So Toronto has the power play, high sticking on Nicastro. BU wins the draw and controls. A chance for a 3-on-1 the other way. Led by Clendenning. Drops to Coyle. Coyle shot saved by Martin. Rebound still free. Coyle finds it. Score! Charlie Coyle has the hat trick on opening night. It's 8-3, a shorthanded goal for Charlie Coyle. No better way to start your Terrier career than a hat trick in your first game.
Wow, Charlie Coyle continues to make great plays, and ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Coyle is on pace to score a hat trick every single game he plays for Boston University. The freshman having a sensational game. Adds a shorthanded tally, but that all started because of a great breakout off of the faceoffs. The Terriers got up the ice very quickly, and that when you have Clendenning, a speedster alongside Coyle and Pereira, that's what you can do. They use the speed to really get ahead of this Varsity Blues, create a 3-on-1 opportunity, and they took full advantage, and Coyle reaped the benefits.
Toronto has possession on the power play. Still a minute 34 to go. Hat trick for Coyle. No player on last year's BU team had a hat trick in their careers. No player last year for BU scored a hat trick in the season. Charlie Coyle has one in his first game, but again, albeit an exhibition game against the University of Toronto. BU again forces the turnover. Pereira. Charlie Coyle, the way he plays the game could be could be the next big penalty killer on this Terriers team.
Well, not only that, but just the way he plays the game, you know he's going to be involved in the play no matter what, just because his positioning and fundamentals are fantastic.
Chance in, blocked away. Good job by Riker getting back to deny that chance as the puck goes out of play over the glass on the far side. That was a good chance for Toronto on the power play rush, but they couldn't find the back of the net. 8-3 Terriers. 56 seconds, and now the fans start a Charlie Coyle chant, and if he performs just, I mean, you can't expect him to perform like this every night, but if he gives you this kind of effort every night, you got to like what you're going to see from him.
Well, the scouting report on Coyle is that he's got soft hands, he's a confident puck handler, and the way he beats defenders is with acceleration and a combination of good puck handling, and we've seen a little bit of that tonight, but we've also seen a staple of his game, a great job he does of positioning himself to really let the play come to him, and you don't see a lot of players do that. We haven't seen a lot of players on last year's roster do that, so it's good to see Coyle step in and be a guy that just lets the game come to him. He looks like a natural.
Toronto still on the power play, but BU stops the rush at the top of the circles. They can't clear, turned over, and now Toronto has a chance. Toronto had a very good power play to start the night. Chance in front, Rollheiser makes the save as that puck goes to the far corner. Played back to the point, 22 seconds. Shot on, deflects wide to the near boards. Connolly going over, he'll just knife this one down the ice. Going to be an icing call against BU with 13 seconds remaining on the power play. 8:58 in the game. Now they'll show the 3 goals for Charlie Coyle. He went snipe top shelf his first goal, picked up a loose puck for a second goal, and then picked up a loose puck for goal number 3. Stick-to-itiveness is what some would call it. And Coyle just waiting, and finding the puck and burying it.
Yeah, as we mentioned, letting the game come to him, letting the puck come to him, and you love to see that out of the freshman. All smiles right now alongside Pereira as they're laughing it up, and deservedly so, especially when you play the game with guys like Pereira and Connolly who do so much on the puck that all you have to do is be patient and the puck will find its way to you. And Coyle's done a great job of that tonight.
Power play almost over. Toronto controlling. They can't control it, however, and it's poked back out to center ice by BU. Good penalty kill from the Terriers. McDonald has it for Toronto. Circling back in his own zone, he'll hand it off. 8-3 our score. 8:35 to play. BU forces the turnover at the defensive blue line, but back comes Toronto through center ice. It's McDonald up the near boards. McDonald tries to make a move, but knocked off the puck by Escobedo. Puck still along the near boards. Nieto battling along with Megan. Good battle. Nieto knocked to the ice by Brewer, but the puck comes free to the far side for control by Reicha. To Gill up that far side boards. He'll throw it in behind the net. Going after it is Megan. 8:04 to play. 8-3 BU. 2 more goals here in the third period. Charlie Coyle just added his third, a hat trick for Coyle. His first game wearing a Terriers uniform. You got to like the results on opening night for Charlie Coyle. The announced attendance just over 4,000 here tonight at Agganis Arena. Good crowd on hand for an exhibition game. The rest of the teams in the Hockey East having some trouble in their exhibition games. University of Massachusetts lost 4-3 in theirs. New Hampshire tied 2-2 with the X-Men. We saw them last year, Brian, here at Agganis Arena. And there was one more team. I think it was, I'm drawing a blank, but a chance here for Toronto as they dump the puck in. It rings all the way around the glass. And now BU controls, softly lifted up the far side boards and out to center ice. But Toronto controls. Ronan, good stick check there, forces the turnover for Andrew Glass to control. Back through center ice. Turned over by BU, but right back to Noonan. Noonan makes one move, 2 moves at his own blue line, but loses the puck. Offside called against Toronto, and the shot is still taken. It was a soft whistle by the referee, so no purposeness there from number 27. That was Anthony Bergen. But Brian, look at those scoreboards.
Yeah, catching you up real quick to get all the exact scores. New Brunswick goes to UMass and beats the Minutemen 4-3 in OT. Acadia and Northeastern are tied. Acadia up on Northeastern 3-2 with just under a minute remaining in the game. St. Francis Xavier, the X-Men, go to New Hampshire and get a tie against the Wildcats. So Boston University is the lone team as of now that's really surviving and coming out of this Canada exhibition weekend with a win.
And you gotta like BC's chances tomorrow against this Toronto team, especially after playing the Terriers tonight. This could be a lot more uglier, or it could be a lot more ugly tomorrow.
Well, no, and not only that, knowing how talented that BC team is. To give you the best example I can think of is when Chris Kreider absolutely undressed Max Nicastro in the Beanpot game and really just made him look silly on his way to a goal. So a BC team that is loaded with talent everywhere on the ice. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch, as much as I don't like to say it.
BU clears the puck back out to center ice. 6.5 minutes to play in this game. 8-3 Terriers. The result is pretty much confirmed as that slapper goes wide of Rolheiser all the way back down the ice. Giving chase is Courtnall. Rosen is up at forward. So it's Courtnall, Rosen, and Santana, the forward line for the Terriers.
And Tristan, we did see Rosen a couple times at forward. He would jump into the play from times. I do recall seeing it in a couple games, but not all that often. So Rosen, a guy they're going to try to get on the ice some more. Just a very talented player, can make a lot of good things happen. And you saw him put home a shot earlier. So a guy that the Terriers, that Coach Parker wants on the ice as much as possible. Rosen, a very talented player. Not sure we'll see him. I expect we'll see him on one of the defensive pairings, though.
6:11 to play in the third period. 8-3 Terriers. 2 goals here in the third. Coyle the hat trick, and Connolly his second. Connolly a 5-point night. Coyle is right up there with him. Coyle, I believe, has 3 or 4 or 5 points. He has at least 3.
Well, Coyle's got 3 and an assist, and Connolly, as you mentioned, 5 points on the night. So those 2 parts of the first line having a great night for the 2 of them.
Good battle in the near corner. Santana and Courtnall battling for it. Puck still 2-on-2 battle. 2 Terriers, 2 varsity blue players. It comes free. Santana walking out. Santana still a chance. Puck knocked free. Finally cleared out by Toronto to center ice. Clendenning also has looked good tonight. He had that beautiful pass to Connolly, but has controlled the puck nicely.
And you can see now David Warsowski's been taken off. He's playing with Clendenning is now playing with DeCastro. So the coach is trying to let some of the younger guys get some more playing time here to see what they can do.
BU dumps it in, completes the 5-man change. It's that top line, Pereira, Connolly, and Coyle. 5:15 to play in the third. Coyle deflects the pass. It's controlled by Warsowski in his own zone. Up the near boards. Coyle racing after it. He's onside. Coyle has Pereira back door. The puck knocked away. It comes back to Charlie Coyle, turning in the far circle. To Connolly. 1 touch to Warsowski. Thought about it. Moves once. Shot on. Saved by Martin. The rebound bounces to the far side. It's cleared up and into the stands by the Toronto team. Face off with 4:56 to play. Great 1-touch passing there by the Terriers. Connolly knowing Warsowski was behind him. And that's something that this BU team will get better at once they start to play together more in actual practices.
Absolutely. As practices come along, the Terriers teams in general just get better at moving the puck. Defense gets better, and you start to see guys position themselves better. So you'll see a crisper game out of this Terrier team next week, hopefully.
Toronto on the offensive attack. 2-on-2 across the blue line. Quick wrist shot goes wide of Rolheiser. Connolly chips it out of the zone. Now Pereira picks it up at the red line. Onside Pereira. Into the left circle. Turns around but loses a wheel. Goes to the ice. And Toronto comes back through center ice with 4.5 to play. Cross corner dump. Warsowski after it. He'll pick it up there. Plays it back in behind a reverse for McGregor. McGregor spins away from one check. Has the puck knocked off his stick. Avoids a check. Nieto now. Up to center ice for Gill. Gill leaves it there for Nieto onside. Nieto, nice little drag, and he's upended with a gorgeous hip check. What a hip check right there from Fenwick. Beautifully executed, sending Nieto feet overhead. Beautiful hip check. You got to love that old school game played there by Fenwick. Under 4 to play. Megan goes to the ice, keeps the puck on his stick. Toronto can't clear. Escobedo throws it on net. It's knocked down, but Gill goes after it. Gill being hassled in the far corner, keeps the puck on his stick, hands it off to Megan. Megan dancing around 2 checks. It comes free to Escobedo. Escobedo, a shot saved by Martin. He's upended, and the puck is controlled now by Toronto. Chance for a 2-on-1. If they hurry, they have the 2-on-1. It's onside. Brewer in, shot off the crossbar. Brewer rang that one off the bar, and back comes BU the other way for a 3-on-2 chance. Onside, Megan and Escobedo. Thrown towards the net. It hops up into the chest of Martin. Whistle, 3:21 to play. Rolheiser thanks his crossbar. He'll buy him a gift next time out.
and the up and down play game really starting to open up now because both teams doing a great job of trying to get shots on. And when you get a lot of people going to net, if you can spring it out, that's when you can really create the 2-on-1 opportunity. But a ton of shots here for Boston University, outshooting the Blues in the third period, 18-2.
22-3 in the second period. So after a 13-11 advantage in the first, it's been all BU the rest of the game.
It's funny, Tristan. We were talking earlier before the game about the former Maine goalie, Ben Bishop. He came here in 1 weekend, had to make about 67 saves.
Puck free, shot, score! Gilroy with the rebound. He scores. It's 9-3. BU keeps adding. 9-3 with 3:02 to play. Kevin Gilroy finds the back of the net.
And a great hustle play there from the Terriers. Just a good job of just sticking with it. Martin made the initial save, but it popped out. It was a great job. It looked like, hard to tell, it looked like it might have been Santana, or rather, couldn't tell there who it was that popped it out. It might have been Gil that popped it out. Glass, rather, that popped it out. And Gilroy able to bang it home.
Gilroy now a junior. Of course, younger brother of Matt Gilroy, playing with the New York Rangers. Puck thrown in on Grant Rolheiser. He grabs it with the glove. He'll hold on. Gilroy gets the goal at 16:58. 9-3 Terriers. An offensive explosion tonight for BU. You'd like to think maybe the offense will be clicking like this all season long, but again, this is just an exhibition game, so you have to take away the little things from this game. How they pass the puck, how they control the puck, not the actual overall result. As Toronto turns it over, Noonan, a long stretch pass for Gilroy, but Gilroy timed it just a little bit too early as he was offsides. And now more extracurricular activity on the far side. This time it's Noonan. Noonan skating away, gets pushed from behind, so they're going to take both of them.
And if you're the refs, you just want to keep this game under control. As you mentioned, Tristan, the result is not in question at this point. 9-3 with 2:45 remaining, but again, not the most important part of the game. If you're Coach Parker, you want to see the guys that really develop into a unit and who move the puck effectively as a unit. Individual talent is great. It's fantastic that Charlie Coyle has 3 goals. But as much as we'll be talking about the scoring ability after tonight's game, we'll also be talking about Coyle's ability to move the puck and get involved in the play and really spring this Boston University offense with good passing and good footwork. So Coyle has looked very impressive. He looks like he's ready to be a part of the team. And these last couple of minutes are for the other guys, the third and fourth line guys, the lower pairing guys, to try and give themselves some face time.
So matching penalties to both both Noonan and a Toronto player. Could not get the number. 5-on-5 hockey, 2:34 to play. Toronto onside into the offensive zone. Quick shot on. Rolheiser makes the blocker save. Rebound goes off the side of the cage. In behind the Terrier net. 9-3 our score. Santana battling along there with Sean Frank. Still a 2-on-2 battle. Frank goes down. The puck along the near boards. Courtnall turning away. Courtnall still has it. Can't clear it. Turcotte a shot. Knocked down. It comes to Rosen. Courtnall, Rosen, and Santana, the forward line. Rosen drops it back to Courtnall. Courtnall in. Makes a move. Courtnall wraparound chance. Turned away by Toronto. And now Turcotte and Courtnall throwing punches. Turcotte dropping the gloves. I don't think he realizes that you can't drop the gloves in college hockey. Turcotte wants to go. Courtnall threw a punch. The fans chanting USA.
Oh, that's uncalled for.
No. Turcotte, he really wants to drop the gloves. He threw those gloves down. He wants to go.
He thought it was standard procedure, but not in college hockey as it gets all sorted away here.
McGregor going to the box as well, as is number 8, Bryden Teach.
Courtnall's not in the box yet.
Courtnall, I believe, is going to be going off the ice.
If he hasn't already. And certainly, if you're, Justin Courtnall was having a pretty good game. He had a couple of good shifts, but just losing the poise completely. I haven't seen any fire from a Terrier player since Brandon Yip, but even Yip knew to keep it on the ice and really play hard.
Turcotte still wants
Still going.
He's on the Toronto bench, beckoning for a Terrier to come over and fight him.
Just not how it works.
We have a new hot dog.
As the fans go crazy for a little boy dressed as a hot dog.
No more hot dog and Jesus this year.
No, Brian Fathom and Ross Lichtenberg have graduated, so they've moved on. You assume to real jobs, unless wherever there are somewhere, some NHL team or AHL team has gotten a new hot dog and Jesus mascot. So we wish them the best of luck.
looking at this BU schedule down the road, it's going to be a tough one. They open up with Wisconsin next Friday, 9:30 p.m. against Wisconsin.
And Tristan, I got to jump on you for a second. We could see an epic matchup. Terrier faithful, a couple of years ago, there was a goalie by the name of Brett Bennett in your net, and it was a tumultuous season that year between him and Carson Gillespie. The goaltending situation just never figured out. Bennett seemed to be asked to leave the program after that year, and you thought you'd heard the last of him. You haven't. He plays for Wisconsin, and it's probable we will see him in goal against the Terriers on Friday night. You could not draw it up better than that. It's going to be a very exciting matchup as they take on the Badgers, a very talented team, top to bottom, loaded with offense and defense. That's going to be a fun one as well to start, and what an icebreaker it will be, Tristan.
Holy Cross and Notre Dame playing the first game on Friday, and then depending on what BU does, they will face either Holy Cross or Notre Dame on Sunday, either in the championship game or in the consolation game. Then they return home on the 16th to face Massachusetts. That starts a string of a bunch of Hockey East games in a row. They don't play another non-conference game until late November against Brown. Back to action. Under 2 minutes to play in this game. Glass gets a piece of the puck as it'll roll all the way down the ice into the Toronto end. Gilroy giving chase. We have a one-game misconduct at least.
And it looks like Garrett Noonan went off for roughing. Byron Elliott went off for roughing. And we'll get the game misconducts as soon as they come to us. You got to assume that Turcotte and Courtnall both were given game misconducts. So we'll see how Coach Parker handles that during the week.
1:20 to play. Martin just grabbed that puck. Face-off coming to his left.
And Tristan, you mentioned a string of Hockey East games early in the season, and so important, especially this year for this Terrier team, to do well in those Hockey East contests. Traditionally, in the last couple of years, at times we've seen the Terriers struggle at the beginning. They have 10 Hockey East games in the first half of the season, rather. So we've seen the Terriers struggle with those games at times, but those are all almost must-win games. You have to get off to a good start in Hockey East. You don't want to fall too far behind.
Especially with a young team. 1:04 remains in this game. Santana through center ice, hands off to Rosen, fakes the shot, throws a pass towards the net. It goes wide. Shot on goes high over Martin's head. It comes to the near boards where Rosen will just throw it back down deep. BU hoping to get out of this game without any more altercations. Toronto through to center ice. Teach gains the blue line onside, avoids one check, loses the puck, and it's tipped back out through center ice. BU will go for the change, 35 seconds to play.
And, you know, if Courtnall wants to learn it all from this, I'd go to Captain Joe Pereira. Pereira used to have that kind of game where he really picked a lot of fights with players and really took a lot of stupid penalties just trying to make a player get somebody back. But over time, Pereira's just developed into a good, gutsy player. And you don't see Pereira really get in fights, but you do see him in the middle of every play making something happen.
10 seconds to go. Reicha fires one all the way around the boards. It comes back out to center ice. Picking it up there is Escobedo. He throws it. It goes into the BU bench. 3.1 seconds remaining. The Terriers will come away with a big victory here. An exhibition opener at Agganis Arena. The fans loving it. Getting a glimpse of what they hoped for last year. Maybe they'll get it this year. You got to wonder. This year's team may be a little more hungry than last year's team. The Terriers in 2 exhibition games last year, I don't think they combined to score 9 goals against the USA 18 team and the St. Francis Xavier X-Men.
Those were 2 games really where you saw a Terrier team that looked like they knew they were more talented and didn't really apply themselves because they knew they were more talented. But you used the perfect word, Tristan. This team looks much hungrier than last year's team. Is 4 goals enough? No. Is 5 goals enough? No. This team continued to pour it on and still stay aggressive, and to the tune of 9 goals. That's a fantastic result for Coach Parker, Coach Bavis. You love to see the aggressiveness from your team, and really with new captains and a lot of hungry young players, this is a team that could have a lot of good things coming their way.
The final buzzer sounds here at Agganis Arena. The final score 9-3 in favor of the Terriers. 54-18, the final shot on goal margin for BU. They dominated from the first period on. The first period ended 3-3. BU scores 6 straight goals to round out this game. A 9-3 exhibition victory over the Toronto Varsity Blues. Hat trick from Charlie Coyle. A 5-point night from Chris Connolly. Good things all around. Brant Rolheiser doesn't allow a goal. Kraus made some strong saves in his half a game. Once again, your final score 9-3. BU victorious, folks. Thank you for joining us on BU All Access as well as WTBUSportsRadio.org. And if you're wondering when we'll be back on the air tomorrow afternoon, women's soccer back on BU All Access. They host Stony Brook at 1 o'clock. That's a 1 o'clock start on BU All Access as well as WTBUSportsRadio.org. For extended coverage of tonight's exhibition victory, go to WTBUSportsRadio.org or BU Athletics. Also BU Athletics on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. WTBUSportsRadio.com. Once again, a great provider of BU Athletics throughout the season. We're back on the air for hockey next Friday night in St. Louis against Wisconsin, opening the season in the Icebreaker. Hope you can join us there from the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. Tristan Hobbs, Brian Levine, Paul Ryan, Greg Picker, and Chris Aliano all saying a good night. Drive safe if you're driving home, and have a great night. Have a great Saturday night. Stay tuned as we continue your broadcast coverage and your coverage throughout the season here on WTBUSportsRadio.com.